going to have a conversation tonight about pinch and pimping. All right, how did this start? Tonight's program we're going to be talking about here, this started with Kendra G and the appearance that she made on the Tamron Hall program. And I didn't get to talk about this other aspect at the time. I mentioned it before. It's been a couple of weeks, but I'm circling back around to it because after she was on the program, there were some comments that were made by comedian Cory Hol. Cory Hol said some things that I felt were very, very prescient and very, very relevant. And because of that, I really decided that this is the kind of thing I thought should be reviewed here because I found it to be very, very insightful. Now, he made some comments about her. She came back dissing on him. And then Cory does what Cory does when you respond to him. But it wasn't just the run-of-the-mill thing. He actually said something that I found to be rather spot on. A lot of folks were talking about it, but they didn't really zero in on this part. And this is the part that I want everyone to listen to because this encapsulates the epidemic of pimping right here.
Kendra, you have to buy a man because the men on your level, you don't want them. You want men who are probably younger than you. Kendra, go after a man you can get. Kendra G, I think you could get Harrison Ford.
What?
Back when he was Han Solo in Star Wars, you couldn't get him. But now he's an elderly man. Kendra G, I think you could get Harrison Ford. I think you could get like somebody who old and played out who's still doing it. What's an old man who's still on TV?
Harrison Ford likes skinny white girls. His wife is. He's been with her.
She can get Kevin Duckworth.
Boy, you stupid than a motherfucker.
Okay. Let me go ahead and try this. I'm going to replay what Cory just said, but I want to replay what Cory just said with a bit of a visual aid, if I may.
Kendra, you have to buy a man because the men on your level, you don't want them. You want men who are probably younger than you. Kendra, go after a man you can get. Kendra G, I think you could get Harrison Ford. Back when he was Han Solo in Star Wars, you couldn't get him. But now he's an elderly man. Kendra G, I think you could get Harrison Ford. I think you could get like somebody who old and played out who's still doing it. What's an old man who's still on TV?
Harrison Ford likes skinny white girls.
And that brings us to tonight's topic, pinch and pimping. Because it's a game that's played on both sides of the fence. And I want to take this as an opportunity to go ahead and address that. I want to take this as an opportunity to address that because I feel that otherwise it is gone unstated. Because this is exactly what you're dealing with here now. Once you reach a certain point, I said this over a decade ago because females were asking about this. I said over a decade ago, Kevin Samuels picked it up. A lot of the women didn't like it. The women didn't like it because they don't want to hear that. Once you reach a certain point, when you go past your prime, if you want a man who's a producer, a man who's not financially struggling, a man who is really desirous of you, which is what gives you leverage, if you have what he's willing to work for, sacrifice resources for, not just a guy who's cool with you being around, one who is willing to make a long-term commitment that has tangible risks. Well, that's what you want. And what you want is the fellow who is hot and accomplished. He's a go-getter. He's in the middle of the things. He's Mr. Excitement. He's looked up to. He's admired. That's what you want because that's what excites you as a fellow who's in the middle of things. But you see, once you pass the point of your prime viability, you don't ignite that passion in men anymore. They can look at your face. There's the road miles. And so what we said over a decade ago is that, if you looking for a fellow who got it, you can go get the fellow who's retired from the plant. What? You can go get the fellow who's retired from the city. Damn. You can go get the fella with his military pension.
Nigga, please.
You can go get the fella there who, he's been worked 3 or 4 jobs, so the 401k might have kicked over and whatnot. So he's the old dude who's still wearing the Pell shirt.
Auntie, chill.
That dude. You can get that fella right there. The guy who he's trying his damnedest to look like Mr. Steal Your Grandma.
Nigga, please.
That fella. That's the one you can get. You don't get Michael B. Jordan. If you are a 40-year-old female, if you're a 40-year-old single mom, you don't get the fly dude. You don't get the fellow who's building, the guy who's telling you, hey, baby, I can't sit around here with you all day. I got to get out here and get it. The guy who makes things happen, Mr. Excitement. And I don't mean Mr. Excitement as in he just rides a motorcycle. I'm talking about the guy who actually moves things and does things. The fellow who got something going on that other people are saying, hey, I admire that guy. Take a look at what's happening here. He's got record deals, TV deals, Netflix deals, real estate moving. That guy, the one you were always dreaming about. You don't get him. You are not prime real estate for him. You need a fellow who has lost his competitive edge. You need a fellow who don't want to fight for a damn thing. The AARP done kicked in, his knees ain't working right. He just needs it popped in his lap in front of him. And that is the pinching pimpin'. That's it right there. That dude ain't trying to argue over nothing. He ain't trying to work for nothing. He doesn't want anyone saying a damn thing to him about being a go-getter. What he got, that's the get it. That's the get it right there. You looking for Mr. 7 Figures and a Birkin bag. You've been dreaming about that your whole damn life. The biggest lie that females tell males today is that she has given up on the idea that she's going to be that 7-figure princess to a 7-figure nigga.
And deal with it, nigga.
That is the single biggest lie being told by females today. In an age of YouTube and Instagram, they becoming grandmas, been watching it their whole damn lives. The biggest lie she tells you is that she's all right if you can't get it. That's the biggest lie that she tells. I've been saying this here forever to the men listening. Fellas, she ain't never gave up on that G-Wagon.
What?
She just told you that. Your chick has never given up fantasizing about what that would be like. She's never let that go. I don't give a damn if she coming out to church with the little cane on. She wants to know what that's like. She does not want to leave this world wondering what that's like. Now, you can sit there and tell yourself the oh-so-pleasing deception that she's okay with it and she aight with it. No, you're just hoping that she's worn down enough. That, baby, have you finally let that go? They haven't let that go. If she lives, listen to me, if she lives in Los Angeles, she ain't let that go. The only person who thinks she's let that go is you. The only person who hopes it is you. Your chick has never let go of that G-Wagon. She's never let go of that Bentley. She's never let go of that Range Rover. Especially chicks who was listening to a Jagged Edge back in the 90s. She been dreaming about that Range Rover since then. So the lie they telling you is that they let that go. No, they haven't. Okay, and you just hoping that, well, maybe the rent's whooping her ass and the bills and inflation are beating her ass and she'll finally let it go. No. If your chick lives in Miami, Atlanta, DC, these are glamorous. Folks, they make television shows about these places now. Please understand. When I was a child, you had TV shows about New York, TV shows about LA. Eventually you had Miami Vice. Now you got shows about Atlanta, DC, Chicago. These are multi-billion-dollar cities now. So if your chick is there, it is what it is. She's not going to let that go. She'll sit there with you because she doesn't think you can do it, and this is the best she can do. Oh, baby, I ain't worried about that. That's the biggest damn lie she can tell you, is that she's satisfied giving up her lifelong dream. That's what she's telling you. So she wants that dude who can do that. She wants to know what that Cinderella moment is like. She wants to be with that fella that the other chicks are looking at. The fella with the dark beard. What? Oh, hell, I'm hurting some feelings tonight. Fellas, it is what it is. She's looking for that dude with the dark beard. That's who they looking up to. The fella who don't look like he done aged out. The fella who looks like he can still throw some blows. He can still deadlift. He can still get into it. She's looking for that. She's still dreaming of that. She is still fantasizing about that. Because everyone around her is. Why do you think we call women girls? Because why do you think the place was called Forever 21? They didn't call it Forever 42. Damn! Why the hell do you think it's called Forever 21? You ain't never seen a store called Forever 35. Or 35 this week. Okay, if I'm lying about all this, then please tell me why Forever 21 was popping. You wouldn't even dream of opening a store called Forever 43. Forever 51. Forever 35. You would never imagine it. You'd be like grand opening, grand closing. We'll be in business for all of 3 days. Damn right. Let's just put it on the bricks. She doesn't want to be a middle-aged, washed-out thing. She is forever fantasizing. What have we been talking about on the internet now for the last 30 damn years? That the women all think that they're still in their 20s. If they post pictures, they're comparing themselves to their 20s, somebody else's 20s. None of them are saying, I'm the baddest broad at middle age. They're all saying that they're competing with the 20-somethings. Okay, so she's telling you where she expects that dude to be. She imagines herself in her prime. She wants to be with the fella who is in his. Okay, but the problem is the fella who's in his prime and he got the bag and everything else. You got to be what he wants, and what he wants is somebody back where he is. If he's at the height of his game, he wants a female who is at the height of hers. You automatically ruled out. Therefore, you can go grab Mr. Pimpin. He's willing to take the chick who used to be hot and give her whatever he got. Okay, but one more thing. He is done competing. Mr. Pimpin is not looking for the next movie, the next record deal, the next real estate. He's not looking for the next position, the next promotion. He's looking to sit back and cruise. He's done going to go get it. He's like, Hef, I already got it. Whatever I got, that's it. Stop badgering me and bothering me and nagging me to build something high. That's it. The back ain't working like it used to. I'm not trying to do all that. You trying to do all that. I'm not. Okay, but she still wants it. So what we said over a decade ago, for those of you who've been following me over a decade ago, I said, yeah, you can have that. I told the chicks, I'm like, once you get started, I said, once you got strikes against you, you gonna have to sell to a guy that you're young to him. You're not young in your 40s anymore, except to a 60-year-old.
And deal with it, nigga.
I said it. You're not young in your 40s to anybody except a 60-year-old. Hey, you got advantages there. He's not trying to get with the 60-year-old chicks around him. He's trying to get with something younger who the cellulite and the varicose veins ain't just took over. So if you're a 40-year-old, you got leverage with a 60-year-old. They hated it a decade ago when I said it. They hated it 5 years ago when Kevin Samuels took it from me. They hated it. Okay, but it's reality. That's the truth. If you're a size 16, you might be able to get, if you're a size 16 over 40 and you looking for a fellow who got some type of benefits to offer, you know, at least he can pay the car note on that Kia Optima for you. If you're looking for that, yeah. If he's 60 years old here, and he's been around the block enough, he's like, okay, he's done fighting. The fight is out of him. The fight has been beaten out of him. He can't really compete for a true fly chick. He can't do that. That's not an option for him. That's not an option. Not gonna work. Please understand, that's not gonna work. So yes, for the chicks who used to be hot girls, yes, this is what you can get. Old boy who's aged out, you've aged out, he's aged out. That's your match. And you can be the little weird couple together and you can walk around and folks, hey, is that your daddy? No? Oh, okay. You're in your 40s and with your 3 kids and you still got black hair and you talking about salt and pepper and everybody, is that your dad? It's so nice you took your dad out. And no, that's my man. Oh. Yeah, that's why females don't find that appealing. The salt and pepper thing is a lie. Fellas, you can believe that if you want to. It's just like a man wearing a wedding ring. Fellas, please stop lying to yourselves. The salt and pepper thing is a lie. What that tells the female is he up in age. Is there a pension I can squeeze on him? Hey, nigga, you got enough gray damn hair. You done retired from something, ain't you? Just like wearing a wedding ring. Oh, you're providing for somebody. Maybe you need a side chick to take care of little Larry and little Ray Ray. Okay, let's just stop lying to yourselves about that. She figures if you're not looking too raggedy there, nigga, you must be retired from something. All that gray hair on your head. You got to be retired from something, don't you? Okay, let's discuss that pension. Let's discuss that. Let's discuss that damn fixed income. Let's do that. Damn, Jason, I thought it was that. Yeah, the internet got you fooled. I was looking on the timeline. All them single moms on your Facebook page.
Auntie, chill.
Fellas done got fooled by all them damn single moms on their Facebook pages. I told you this forever. The young chicks who got options are not on Facebook, fellas. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. They were on Instagram, now they're over there on TikTok. The chicks with a future and a runway in front of them, yeah, they're not on Facebook. You sitting over there on Facebook looking at the single moms like, okay, let's make a deal. Listen to what they got to say. They said they like Mr. Take Your Grandma. Okay, that's what she qualifies for. You're like, oh, I'm getting it hot off the presses. I'm getting it hot off the presses. Okay. Come on, man. Oh, I'm not supposed to be telling brutal facts like this tonight. I'm supposed to say it nice and easy so folks feel better about it. I'm not supposed to just make it brutal. I'm supposed to say it nice and easy so folks feel better about it. But it's time for us to have a real conversation. If nobody else says it, and yeah, all the other YouTubers can go ahead and take this next week. They can go ahead and take this next week and then remix it and then start incorporating it into their flawed philosophies. And damn, this is actually real. Come on, man. Let's stop the bull jive. Is there really a fella in here who thinks that if a female had the chance to be with Deion Sanders from 1999 versus Deion Sanders today, that if she could choose either one, she gonna choose the one today?
Nigga, please.
That's a lie you tell yourself. That's something you say to please you. That's not the way it works. When her options begin to diminish, then what she's willing to, quote, settle for begins to expand. That's what it is. That's why when a fella, when they start going gray, he goes to get a more expensive car. He doesn't sit up to try to flex his gray hairs. He doesn't try to flex his personality. He says, let me get something expensive. Yeah, you need something to balance this out. You need something to counterweight this demerit you got. You ain't sitting up here walking up to her with your personality. Show me the 25-year-old female who's talking about, damn, I wish I could date me Morgan Freeman.
Nigga, please.
Okay, let's just put the bull crap to the side. Show me the 30-year-old females talking about, damn, I wish Morgan Freeman was available. Show me the 30-year-old females got pictures of Morgan Freeman on their damn social media. Nigga, I'll wait. I'll wait for that one. Let's stop the garbage. I'll wait for that. Let me know where that one's posted at. Since everybody on the internet are professional aficionados in lying, okay, let's go, just go ahead and go there. Show me the females who are posting up pictures of Morgan Freeman next to Michael B. Jordan. We'll wait. Okay, case closed. They like that. Show me the females who are posting pictures of Harrison Ford today. That's why Cory Hol said Harrison Ford. By the way, show me where he's the heartthrob today. I ain't beating up on Harrison, brother. You know it is what it is. It is what it is. Back in the 70s and the early 80s, you was running the game. Today? No, they don't love George Clooney. No, they don't. You ain't seen him posted nowhere neither. This is what I'm talking about. Men don't update their files on a regular basis. Men keep walking around with outdated files and outdated information and just keep recycling it. And that makes the females happier because, oh, good, he don't know no better. You ain't seen nowhere where George Clooney's posted up nowhere, bro. That's a 15-year-old metric you using. Ain't no females today talking about George Clooney's the dude. Leo DiCaprio, okay, tell me how many gray hairs Leo DiCaprio is sporting. How many gray hairs is Leo DiCaprio sporting? Brad Pitt sporting? Tom Cruise. Show me when they present themselves for their work. Show me how many gray hairs they sporting. Okay. We can move along. Matthew McConaughey. We can go down the list. Matt McConaughey. Come on, let's do this. So let's just stop the nonsense. Update the files and just recognize you can't spread the field. If it was popping like that, dude, come on now. Fellas need to stop with the nonsense. I didn't say that you can't be older in good weight, in good shape. I'm not saying that you cannot be older and like Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne is over 50 now. The Rock is over 50. Built like a Mack truck. I'm not saying you can't do that. Pharmaceuticals to the side. I'm not saying you can't do that. But what I am saying is that's the exception to the damn rule. You can't even cite him. You can't cite Dwayne. He's the exception to the damn rule. Billy D. Williams. Show me a 30-year-old female who knows who Billy D. Williams is. Show me a 30-year-old female. I said 30, not even 20. Show me a 30-year-old female who's talking about Billy D. Williams is that dude. Name one. Show me who the last time Billy D. Williams was on a 30-year-old or younger female's timeline. These are called anachronisms. Look it up. These are called things being cited outside of their proper chronological context. We're bringing up anecdotes from a bygone era, and as men, we're holding on to it because those were our frames of reference 40 years ago. Go look at the first time that Denzel Washington got People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive. It's been not years, decades. And I know they put him back on there again because they got to do that. But come on, y'all. The females who are still citing Billy D. Williams as a sex symbol were the females from the Donna Summers era. From the Pointer Systems Automatic, when that single was a hit. I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just saying, can we be honest? The people who cite Billy D. Williams as a sex symbol? Come on, man. Where were you when you were thinking of him that way? Oh, I'm sorry. Wasn't he in Star Wars with Harrison Ford?
Nigga, please.
Oh, by the way, wasn't Billy D. Williams in Star Wars with Harrison Ford? Okay, so you're saying both of them in the same sentence. And I ain't dissing nobody. I'm just saying, if you're going to say that that's a benchmark, then you saying Grandpa's gone wild. That's what you're saying. Okay, how many 40-year-old females are saying, damn, I wish Billy D. Williams was available?
Nigga, please.
That's my point. How many 40-year-old females are saying, I wish Billy D. Williams was available? How many? Go show 'em to me. The females like, boy, I wish Billy D was still kicking. These young niggas is tripping. I wish Billy D was still out there. How many 40-year-old females are talking about, what's Keith Sweat doing tonight?
And deal with it.
How many 40-year-old females are saying, damn, what's Keith Sweat doing tonight? We can go down the list. In reality, the women ain't playing this game. The men are playing this game. The women ain't playing this game. Look at their timelines. They're showing you what the hell they are digging. They're showing you what they're on. Even some of the names that you think are a grand slam, the females are in here laughing about you saying Keith Sweat. The women are in here laughing. That's my point. Yeah, there's some 60-year-old females who, if Keith Sweat called right now, it's draws flying across the room. There are no 30-year-old females talking about, damn, I wish Keith Sweat would pick up the phone. Chris Brown, yes. Keith Sweat, no. You're holding on to Aldi. Somebody said Lionel Richie. Damn. Somebody said Lionel Richie. Yeah. There you go. There it is. Right there. There it is. Yeah. How many 40-year-old females are like, damn, I wish Lionel Richie would get a divorce? How many females got a picture of Lionel Richie in their phone, Billy D. Williams in their phone, Keith Sweat in their phone, Johnny Gill in their phone? Sorry, Johnny. Johnny might be listening tonight. Johnny, don't shoot me. Johnny might be listening tonight. I'm going to be in trouble here in a minute. Al B. Shore, Christopher Williams. Come on, folks. Who doing that? Okay. So please don't sell yourself on a dream. Don't sell yourself on that idea that it means to you what it means to them. Women look for nonverbal cues so she can just make an assumption, so she can narrow down the damn field. You got gray hair. She's like, well, this nigga's retired, and if he's single, he probably ain't got no damn prospects. Okay, let me see how desperate he is. And the average elderly, Cory Hol said, elderly dude, yeah, he ain't got no prospects, man. That's it. He waiting for somebody to drop it in his lap. Do you understand how far outside of the loop of lingo that you are today if you're 40 years old or 50 years old, God forbid? Do you realize how the dating game has changed just in the last 10 years? I didn't say the last 20. I'm not talking about you internet folk who think you're smart because you can say, oh, we used to get dates offline. Now most people get a date online. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about that's a given. Do you realize how the online world of introducing yourself to people, getting introduced to people, networking ecosystem, do you realize how that's changed in just the last 10 years? Hell, do you realize how it's changed in just the last 5 since the pandemic? What? Do you realize how radically different things are today versus how they were just 5 years ago before the pandemic? What's expected of you, what people are looking for, what they're targeting for, what they're focusing on. So if you are quoting information that's 20 years old, if you're referencing people from 20 years ago, do you realize just how far outside the loop and just so far out of touch that is? Folks, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or condescending. I'm saying, let me take this as a moment here to update your files.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
Before you break your arm patting yourself in the back, I'm just saying, okay, I'm so glad you remember that stuff, but we were saying that when we were kids and teenagers. If you're citing information or naming names from 20 years ago, if you're citing circumstances and conditions from 20 years ago, do you realize how far outside the loop you are? For example, you might remember Freaknik, but you can't actually cite Freaknik as a current factor in male-female relations today. You can talk about its, quote, effect on society, but you can't talk about where the next Freaknik is and how many folk gonna be there. You wonder if they did host a Freaknik, you would wonder if anybody was gonna show up. But you cannot cite it as a relevant factor in the modern era. So I'm trying to get you in touch with, by the way, even if you know the phrase Freaknik, do you realize how far out of touch that is? The people on Instagram and TikTok have no idea what you're talking about. And to the extent they do, they don't see what the big deal is. So I'm trying to give you a metric you can use so that you can identify. By the way, things that you can cite from just 20 years ago, 2005, do you realize how far outside the loop you are now? And that was 20 years ago. Take a look at how things have changed in just the last 5 years. And if you are not an active participant, if you're not out here actively throwing elbows, if you're not out here actively competing, then you don't know how the epicenter of energy has moved in this country. 20 years ago, the epicenter of the energy was Atlanta. Today, it's Miami. Please understand that. I didn't say that Atlanta's still not growing. I'm talking about as far as the relevant epicenter of the energy, the place that people cite as up and coming and popping, where the youth are moving to, where the youth energy is, where the trends of society are being emanated from. That epicenter has moved from Atlanta to Miami. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was 40 years ago, it was New York. 30 years ago, it was LA. 20 years ago, it was Atlanta. And today, it's Miami. Atlanta held the crown for a grip, but today it's Miami. So what I'm saying is that if you're talking about Atlanta having that kind of cachet, I'm not saying that Atlanta is not relevant. I didn't say that. But I am saying that as far as the momentum and the energy right now, today, that's in Miami. The new, fresh, up-and-coming energy, that's Miami. That's where it is now. So if you're still talking about Atlanta, you got a bunch of Asian females in Atlanta. I didn't say Asian, I said aging. They're getting older in Atlanta. They're getting older up there, man. That's the consequence of having outdated information. And you see a bunch of pinch and pimping happening in Atlanta now. That's one of the places where when you hear about the passport bros and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, they go places where $1 go farther because they're on a fixed income. That's the difference. You see, when you're dealing with a fellow who is still out here active in the hunt, his income isn't fixed. His income is growing because he's still competitive and he's still competing to stay competitive in the current environment. When you get to Mr. Fixed Income, he starts cutting budgets. Everything he spends has to conform to what he got. He's not trying to stretch anything. As a matter of fact, it mentally aggravates him to hear somebody talking or discussing about stretching something. He ain't trying to do that. He wants to be comfortable where he is. He ain't trying to conquer a new mountain. He's not trying to expand an empire. He's not trying to take any new lands. He's done. He's done. Okay, here's the problem. You can't floss, Mr. Aged Out. Females don't fantasize about being in their 20s so they can retire. They fantasize about being in their 20s because they still want to run the game. So she doesn't want to hear about how old you are. She doesn't want to hear about your fixed income. She wants to know that when she steps out, she's with the man. And if she's told you she's all right with you not being that, please understand that just means she's giving up on you. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because things happen when a female feels like she's been given up on. Things happen. Things happen to her. Bad things happen to her when she feels like she's been given up on. And that brings me to our next sad sack case here for pinch and pimping. Dawn Robinson. Now, I have a little bit of homework assignment for you all tonight. Back in 2019, I remember this expressly. Back in 2019, I had actually done a piece about that. Back in 2019, I remember that I posted it online. I posted that Dawn had gotten back together with the members of En Vogue. I posted about this back in 2019. And I had said then, what happened to her white sugar daddy? Now here's the thing. I remember seeing pictures of her booed up with him. I haven't been able to find the pictures. I might have them somewhere, but a little bit of a homework assignment for you all. See if y'all can go find that white sugar daddy. When she got divorced, see if y'all can go find white sugar daddy. How many of y'all remember she had a white sugar daddy? How many of y'all remember that? About 6-7 years ago, how many of y'all remember she had one? I'm looking around today, I'm like, did they go and cleanse the internet of that? But you know it's got to be out there somewhere. So if anybody finds that, let me know. Because I remember that. But they're talking to Dawn. And Dawn has done hit some hard times out here right now.
Almost 3 years, I have been living in my car. I said it. Oh my God, it's out. I've been living in my car. Oh my gosh. If you remember, if you guys were with me, in 2020, I did like 105,000 interviews. And in the interim, I was living with my parents in Vegas. And that was wonderful until it wasn't. I love my mom, but she became very angry. And a lot of her anger she was taking out on me, and I was her target all the time. And I was like, I can't deal with this. Like, I respect her too much. I didn't understand it. I still don't. And it hurt me. So I was just trying to figure it out, but I couldn't. You can't read someone else's mind. You can't figure them out. They got to figure themselves out. So I was like, let me get out of here. Sleeping in my car for maybe about a month in Vegas. And then the guy that was co-managing me at the time was living in LA. And he said, you need to come back to LA.
Was that the sugar daddy, y'all? Was that him? Was he one of her managers, either the one she just mentioned or whoever the other, quote, co-manager is? Who was that white sugar daddy? Need to keep looking into that.
Because it's getting ready to be fire in Vegas. You need to come back. I love LA, so I said, okay. And he said that I could stay with him. And so I was like, okay. But you have a dog, I have a dog. Do we have... And he's like, I don't have a lot of room, but I'll make room for you. And then when I got to his place, he actually didn't have room for me. So it turned into... okay, well, I'm going to put you in a hotel for the night. And that one night turned into 8 months. Oh, my God, you guys. I was like, no, this is unacceptable. Because every apartment that I looked at, every single time I looked at a place, I would call him and I'm like, okay, can you meet me here? I would tell him ahead of time, of course. And then he wouldn't meet me there. And so I would take video and send it to him. And he's like, no. Oh, my God, this neighborhood, I hate it. I'm like, dude, I'm the one who has to live here. This is my remote for my...
Oh, did y'all catch that? So she said she didn't want to live at the hotel anymore. She wanted to get an apartment. And that she kept showing him apartments and asking him to come and see. Well, because those cost less than the hotel that he had her staying at. Well, that's interesting. So what that means is she was expecting him to pay for an apartment for her. That's what she's saying. She went to go find an apartment and she wanted him to pay for it. Not her. She wanted him to pay for it.
Phone. You can push play and pause and all that stuff, so that's why I'm holding this. Anyway, and it's way cheaper than the hotel. I told my assistant one day, I have been researching car life.
Okay, so yeah, there you go. So yeah, this dude was paying for her for a hotel, but I'll tell you right now, Dawn, if you want to know what the reason was, although you already know. At the hotel, he can pay for it as he goes, and when your funky attitude starts pissing him off, he can just wash his hands of you. If he signs up for a damn apartment, it's gonna be on him. You're probably going to have him sign the lease. He'll be financially responsible for it. And if he gets upset and you start becoming a problem, now his name is on the lease for a year. Whereas, you know what? If I just pay for this week for week, if things go south, I can just stop. She gets me on paper for a lease. Now I got to pay for a year. For a 55-year-old, she would have been about, what, 55 at the time? Is she 58 now? And she would have been like 55 at the time, 55, 56. Fellas ain't paying apartments for no 56-year-olds. Stacey Dash, you done messed up the game.
And deal with it, nigga.
You got chicks out here thinking and talking crazy. Men are not trying to figure out how to unass $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 a month for a 55-year-old or a 56-year-old. That's why you looking for a younger dude, Kendra. Y'all are looking for a fellow who's still out here to go get it, because a younger dude, he hasn't reached his financial peak. He's not operating with a fixed income mindset. So he's willing to expand his work, to expand his income if she starts needing to get more resources because she's more of a burden. Once we get old, it's like, we ain't trying to do all that. We're not trying to do all that at all. Not for no 55-year-old. Not for a 55-year-old used to be hot diva. Oh yeah, one more thing. For the fellas out there think the chicks is digging, you know, you looking like Fred Sanford in the hair. By the way, how many gray hairs Dawn sporting right now?
Damn!
Okay, she can't afford an apartment, but she can definitely afford a rinse.
And deal with it, nigga.
Yeah, she making sure she keep that hair rinsed now, isn't she? She making sure she got a rinse for that hair. Yeah, she said, before I get on this camera now, I'm damn near 60 years old, but let me throw a rinse on this hair before I sit up here and host my adoring fans. Let me go ahead and put that rinse in there right quick. Because people may be with the darker hair, it makes me look younger. It is what it is. Before I address my adoring public with the darker hair, it make you look younger. Can y'all imagine what she would look like with gray hair? If there's a fella here, she would look beautiful. Okay, your 401k is eligible to take care of Dawn. You might be the fella she looking for here, but no, she ain't looking for you because you ain't got enough. She's not looking for you because you don't have enough. You don't have enough, and I'm not just saying that to be mean. I'm not just saying that to be cruel. I'm not just saying that to be an ass, although sometimes I am. I'm not just saying that for that. I'm saying that because there's other folk who know her even better. There are other folks who know her even better, like her ex-husband. Now, this is the guy who was married to her, I think, until 2007. And he spoke out on recent events, and I have a few thoughts on his statement here. I got a few thoughts on it.
A lot of people get it wrong because Hollywood and gossip sites and...
By the way, fair warning, adult language. So for those of you who got children around, I haven't had a chance to beep this or censor it. So fair warning here, adult language. So I haven't been able to censor it, so you might want to get the kids out the room.
Other bullshit tend to do that. Just like most everybody reporting that I'm a 2-time Grammy winner, I'm not. I only worked on 2 Grammy-nominated projects. Nominated. They say I'm 49 years old. I'm not. I'm 52 years old. My group, for example, they had one hit in 1995 called I'd Rather Be Alone. It went gold after the second single and the second video came out. We broke up. And that's when I ended up signing to Babyface and Tracy Edmonds' label. But most of my credit was earned as a songwriter, writing for Jesse Powell and Will Downing and As Yet, Ricky Bell from New Edition, Montel Jordan, Stevie B, the NBA Jam Session.
Now, I like he's doing this because he's doing this to say, hey, the internet gets things wrong. They get his age wrong. He get how many Grammys he's got. So what he's doing is bringing it back to earth. He say, hey, I'm not inflating my reputation. I'm not inflating my resume. Let me just tell you exactly what it was. He's like, hey, we had one hit. It went gold. He didn't even try to inflate that. Man, we had one hit. It only went gold after the other single came out. So we had one hit. It went gold. I made most of my money from the music business as a songwriter for the little bit of change he did get. So he's not sitting up here trying to act like he's some music legend or anything like that. So I can respect the fact that he's not trying to hype himself up. He's not trying to inflate his clout. He's actually diminishing it to say, hey, let me just tell y'all exactly what it is about this music business and exactly how it went and exactly what I got out of it. So first and foremost, I can respect that.
Big boy from Outkast. Anyway, this isn't about me. This is about me just minding my own damn business the other day and seeing a video come up on my feed, and then a bunch of other people texting me the same video of my ex-wife, the woman that I was in love with for about 10 years of my life, telling the world that she was sleeping in her car.
That's a hell of a situation to be in. That's a hell of a situation to be in. You were married to this woman for 10 years back when she was smoking hot. Back when she was glowing hot. You were married to her and couldn't keep it together. And he's like, I'll be damned. And this is where she ended up at? It'd be different if she left to go to a better place. She left so she could end up on the damn bricks. That's got to weigh on you, man. You walked down the aisle, you went to the altar, you brought your parents, y'all done took vows in front of them, and this is the woman you chose, and this is how it went down. So he's letting you know 20 years later, it's still weighing on him. It's still weighing on him all this time. It's still weighing on him. I think he's got another fiance now, but it's still weighing on him to this day.
And was homeless. That either her mother put her out or her mom was making her life miserable.
I found this part right here, I found to be very interesting right here, what he said here as well.
Put her out or her mom was making her life miserable. And immediately I knew all of that shit was not right. I know Barbara Jean Alexander, okay? That woman is an angel. Her mother and I talked, actually, we just talked yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, according to him, at the time he made this video, he said, me and her mom, we talked just yesterday. He's the ex-husband from 20 years ago, and he can still pick up a phone and call Don Robinson's mother, and he ain't got a negative thing to say. Now, y'all think about this for a few moments. That woman's former son-in-law can pick up a phone and call her today, and he doesn't have a negative thing to say about his ex-mother-in-law. Now, the daughter does. But he telling you, that woman's a saint. I just talked to her yesterday. It ain't even like that. Folks, it don't get more real than that. It doesn't get any more honest than that. What reason? Tell me a man who's ever lied to pump up the reputation of his mother-in-law. So he's letting you know, hey, man, I can talk to her mom. Why come she can't? I'm the ex-husband from 20 years ago. I can pick up a phone and talk to her mom today. Why can't she? She's her daughter. But there's reasons for it, y'all. There's reasons for it. We're going to get to that.
She'd never put her out. She'd never put her daughter in the streets. There's no argument that you could have with Barbara Jean that you could ever view as aggressive or mean-spirited. So I knew something else was going on. I don't know. I scroll through and I see people talking and people ripping her apart and putting their 2 cents in. But this music industry is demonic. It takes and it takes and it takes. It uses you up until you have nothing left, and then it seeks to destroy you for the ratings. Because the people at the top, they get paid on both ends, on your way up and on your way down. So if nothing else, I just want people to look at Dawn as a human being right now. And I know Jermaine Dupri seems to feel like maybe this might be a hoax that she's doing or some kind of publicity stunt. Slim Thug had a more human take on what's happening, but those are men. What I want you to understand is that this is a woman. And while we can bounce back and end up in a position like I'm in right now, I'm an executive for Hilton. I make over $500,000 a year. Not everybody can do that shit without.
All I can say is he must be pretty secure in his little position at Hilton if he's willing to say how much he makes and he's willing to use, get raw like this. He must be pretty secure in his position with Hilton. So somebody at Hilton likes him a lot if he feels secure enough to be able to do this. Plus he offered her a job there. He did offer her to go in with him. So like I say, he letting everybody know that he's still stacking without the music thing. He bounced back. She didn't. So he's just letting you know, hey, the music industry didn't really work out for me, but I found something else and I bounced back. That's the point he's trying to make. He bounced back and she didn't.
Some help. So maybe you could call it survivor's guilt or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But when I see my ex, somebody that had my heart at one point in my life struggling, I don't believe that bullshit about her wanting to do van life or, wanting to have to put a video out telling everybody that she's living in her car. I believe it was a cry for help, so I reached my hand out to help. Sad part is, I don't think she'll take it. I'd love if she did, but This industry, it twists your head up so fucking tight that the only thing that matters is the crowd's approval, you know, and she doesn't have the crowd anymore. And she can't do anything to get that back. She don't really believe that. I know that's what all this is about, but she's struggling with something. I'm not a doctor, but I
wanted to play this all for you because this is relevant to pinch and pimping. Remember at the beginning of the program, I told you, women don't let that ideal go. If a woman has wanted her princess fantasy, she's wanted her princess time, she's wanted to live that life, she's not going to let that go. She is not going to let that go. She is eventually going to circle back around and try to make that run for it. So when he said that she's still thinking about her adoring public and appealing to them, I'm letting men know, hey, we've all lived long enough you need to realize they don't ever let that go, man. And she's not going to pay for it. They want it, but what they want is so massive and so large that it's impossible for a female as an individual to acquire it on her own. Somebody's going to have to give it to them. Somebody's going to have to sacrifice what they got to make sure she gets it. You all can go on Instagram right now. I did this program on my Patreon. You can go on Instagram right now, and there are a bunch of pages for the G-Wagon. And you will literally see thousands, not dozens, not hundreds. There are thousands of females who reference the G-Wagon and talk about dream car. That's the phrase they used over and over and over and over again. Dream car, my dream car, my dream car. Not a one of them got one. What? Females in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, some even older. And they are still dreaming about a G-Wagon. None of them got one. There were a few of them lying and saying they did. None of them got one. But they still want it. They still want it. They're still pining for it. They are still clicking on it. They're still hearting it. They are still commenting about it to this day. Because they want to have something that makes an impression that nothing else makes. Okay, but she ain't willing to pay for it. She's not willing to do that. They want this thing that is this ultimate status symbol, but she ain't willing to pay for it. Now she'll wreck your finances and destroy yours on the road to trying to get there, but she's not going to put in the necessary work and effort to do that, man. It's too damn much. She'll keep fantasizing about it, but she's not going to actually do the work to make it a concrete reality. Okay, so what do you do when you're sitting there with somebody who has that idea in their heads and they're not letting that go? As life moves on and time moves on, she's got to leap for a safe space. She's got to dive for a soft space to land. So you end up sitting up here saying, well, if I can scoop her up 20 years late. Arthur said that he looked up that white Cullinan, that Rolls Royce Cullinan I told you about. The heart eyes and the dream car hashtags were overwhelming. Yeah. $500,000 you'll pay for that thing. We're not even going to talk about maintenance, insurance, upkeep. God help you for repairs. We ain't even going to talk about that. But yeah, it's overwhelming. Do you think they're kidding? I'm going to tell you all tonight about the pinch and pimping. For the fellas listening to me, you need to do an experiment. And please understand this. Ask your female. Do not let the subject go. Go ask your chick what her dream car is. 99% of men deliberately never ask that question. Not because you haven't thought to ask it, because you're scared to ask it. Because you're scared that if she says what it is, now she's let it out, just like Dawn did saying she's homeless. If she actually tells you what her dream car is, the two of you have now shared this reality and this knowledge. You know that the unspoken, implicit statement there is that, well, you asked what her dream car is, so you must have intentions in that direction. That's why men don't ever want to ask females that question, because you're afraid if you broach that subject, then you must be intending to do something. Let me not start a conversation that I have no intention of actually doing something about. Fellas, do yourselves a favor. Ask. Ask. Stop walking around in blissful ignorance. Ask. And do not let it go, because I don't give a damn if you think your chick is the most ignorant heifer in the world about cars. She has a dream car. Yes, she does. She just doesn't think you're going to do it, or she doesn't think it's worth talking over to you. Do not let it go. You ask her and you keep on it until she tells you. And I want you to understand this reality. Whatever she tells you, nigga, she means that. She means it. If she says a G-Wagon, she means that. If she says the Maybach GLS 600, she means that. If she says Rolls-Royce Cullinan, she means that. If she says Mercedes SL Cabriolet, she means that. If she says Aston Martin, she means that. If she says Porsche Carrera, she means it. Have you ever done a temperature check to find out exactly what is your female's aspirations meter? What is it that she wants that she ain't never told you? That she knows it and she's just sitting on it and isn't saying anything about that. Can you afford to have someone around you who has intentions that you don't know anything about? You ask her what that is so that you can find out, damn, this is where she really at. This is what she really thinks. I don't give a damn if she's a size 20 and 58 years old. If she tells you that's what she wants, she really means that. She really means it. And that's where the pinch and pimps swoop in. He realizes she out the game. He realizes she no longer qualifies. He's willing to take somebody's cast off, somebody's leftovers, somebody's crumbs on the table. He's willing to pay top dollar. He's willing to overbid. He's willing to take the high body count, the STDs, the raggedy reputation, the crow's feet. By the way, he's going to pay more than anybody else has ever paid to get less than anybody else has ever gotten. When she was with the men that she really desired, they didn't have to buy a house. Mr. Pinch and Pimp, she's coming to you with all the damn bills. She wants a house, she wants a car, and she wants to not have to have sex with you. What? There's the crazy part about it. You take a look at Cassie today, y'all. I said it. When Cassie was in her prime, what was she doing? She was doing straight up freak-offs. She was with men. She was with women. 5, 6 people in the damn room. She married Alex Fine, and he don't get none of that. If he told her, I'm going to say it, if Alex Fine told Cassie today that he wanted a threesome, she would tell him that she was too mentally and emotionally traumatized to have a threesome. That's what she would tell him today. If he told her, hey, can we have sex with a second female, she would tell him, I can't do that. I'm too traumatized. It was too difficult. I have nightmares. It's too taxing and trolling. Okay, but heifer, you was giving Diddy the Freak Off Express for 10 years. So let me get this straight. No good dirty Diddy could get whatever he wanted for 10 years. Mr. Nice Guy, suburban house husband, she would tell him, yeah, I can't do that with you. I don't do that anymore. So the fella she really wanted, he can get it. I'll step in on Captain Save a Hole with my trusty sidekick, Bella abroad. And she's telling you what you can't get and what you can't have. Think about that for a few moments. You're going to pay more than anybody else has ever paid, and you're going to get less than anybody else has ever gotten. She's not as young as she was. She's not as spry, road miles out of this damn world. Even if she tries to give you her best, that's something she's done 7 or 8 times with somebody else. You're getting less than you ever have, but the pinch and pimping, this is what we have today. Now, the women have pretended that that's okay, but no, it's not. That's when she's on her last damn leg. It's a sad-ass game out here today. It is raggedy as hell. Borderline prostitution. They getting in wherever they can fit in when their time is run out. And the dirty little secret is, by the way, they are very unhappy where they at. This was not the way things were supposed to go. So you think you're slick. You think you're slick because you've gotten to a point where you feel like, well, you know what? I think I can leverage my little income for it. It's the dumbest way in the damn world to go. A female does not respect a man who nakedly doesn't have options and nakedly leverages his income for access. The value is supposed to come from you. Therefore, she should be competing to be with you and nothing but with you. Here's the crazy thing about it. There's a bunch of fellas right now. You wouldn't have a chick right now today if she didn't have the ability to calculate and pat down them pockets. She first made a calculation about what you got. The men who had her doing threesomes and freak-offs, she made a calculation about who they were. She's with you calculating what you got. With your same personality and your same character traits, if you were making $40,000 a year working at Petco, she wouldn't stop to look at you. But she has sufficiently patted them pockets down, and she sees you are sufficiently desperate, and you don't have options. So she's here to inflate your head because you don't have options. That means you never really had options. So females are still new to you at 50, 60, in some cases 70 damn years old. And she's like, yeah, he's just tired of fighting. He's worn down. He's broken down. He's tired of fighting. So he's now willing to pay for convenience. That's pinch and pimping. He's just willing to pay for convenience. He's willing to pay for it for a chick who used to be hot, used to be smoking, used to be fly, and now she got a bunch of miles and the hubcaps and them got lost and the upholstery is torn, but it's his turn. And, well, Jason, why is that so important to him? Because there's no competition now. He's tired. He's worn down. Let's just be honest with you here, folks. Men usually don't get more competitive as they get older. The Mike Tysons and the Sylvester Stallones and the Vince McMahons, those are the exceptions. The men who are just ultra competitive till the day you lay them down, that's the exception. The guys who are out here in the hunt and they're in it and they're with it and they're in the trenches and they're doing the damn thing, that's the exception to the rule. Usually about the time a fella gets 50, 60 years old, he ready to lay it down. This nigga is like a half-century old 5-year-old. Damn! He starts taking naps. This nigga is like 52 years old. He done started taking naps. He's 60 years old and taking naps. Y'all know you can catch him about between 8 and 1. About 1 o'clock, this nigga got to lay down for an hour or two. He'll get back up at 3, then he'll be up till 9. Then he got to lay back down again. So it's like dealing with a big-ass kindergartner. Roll his mat out. Especially those y'all got one who drinks Oh, he get a little buzz and oh, that's it. Your grandmama knew he was gone. This nigga got to retire. This nigga gotta retire. He's got to. He can't pull no damn 10-hour shift. Much less overtime. Oh, he's counting down the days till he retires. Oh, he's counting down the days. Oh, this nigga's on the calendars like a nigga getting out of prison. Oh, he's marking it on the wall. This, 5 years, 6 months, 12 days, 7 hours. Just gotta hang in there a little bit more. Somebody said napped in America. Damn! Yeah, when you're with somebody who's competitive, they're up from sunup to sundown. They're opening new borders. They're opening new lands. They're opening new markets. They're trying out new things. They're testing themselves. They're still throwing elbows. They're still competitive. They're still meeting and greeting with other ultra competitive people. They're still making their mark on the world. They're not talking about some garbage they used to do when they were 20. They're talking about what they're doing right now. That's the difference. And a female ideally wants to be with that guy. She wants to be with the king who still has a very sharp sword and a very long list of people he wants to use it on. Ideally, that's what she's looking for. A woman cannot feel like she's 25 years old when she's with a man who's moving like he's 95 years old. Just like a man can't feel, even if he's 60 years old, if he's with a female who's 25 and she's still moving like 25, he better keep up. So if a female needs a bailout, nigga, she'll take them pockets, but you don't inspire her. You don't inspire her to do her best. When a chick is talking about she living in her car, dude, the damn game is over. Dawn no longer sees herself as a star. And this is true for every female. Every female sees herself as a star. She must, because the day she no longer sees herself as a star, that's when it no longer matters to her how she looks when she walks outside. This is when things go downhill for the pension pimps and the salary simps. That's when they start getting upset. Yeah, because you got somebody's flabby arm, flabby baby mama. Okay, but as long as she good enough for you, but when she just starts saying, damn, I'm not going to get anything else from it. What you got's the best I'm going to get. She just lets it go then. She lets it go. They're done. When she no longer feels like she's a star, she stops trying. There's no reason for her to. It's not like she's going to get more benefits. It's not like you're taking her somewhere different. It's not like you're moving on to something else. That's it. You reach your destination. Well, now so is she. Competitive men inspire women to be competitive. Competitive women inspire competitive men to remain competitive. And when a woman is with a man who has stopped competing, then by definition, she gonna sit down too. And ultimately, she actually doesn't want that because she knows she doesn't get any benefit from doing that. But she needs somebody who is competitive, that he has the ability to chuck you to the side for somebody who is, and that's what inspires her to stay in the damn game. You're in the hunt, you're in the lead, you're in the game, your back's to the wall, you're out there slugging for it every day, and that is what inspires her to continue doing that. When you're out the game, you're done, you've retired your jersey, there are no new lands to conquer, and you ain't even thinking about it, it's time for your 1 p.m. nap.
And deal with it, nigga.
That's it. That's what you got for a female now. Think about that for a few moments. How can a woman feel energized when she's with a nigga who's in the bed at 12 noon? Yes, I'm yelling it because ain't nobody else telling it. Let me hurt your feelings. She sees you in the damn bed, head full of gray hair. Some of y'all niggas got gray hairs in your nose. Damn. And you think you a sex symbol? Y'all talk about these hoes. Did he say hoes? I damn sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
Y'all talk about these hoes how they look without their makeup? Hey, fellas, have you peeked up them nostrils lately? Have you took a peek up them nostrils lately to see if, does it look like Fred Sanford's afro up in there? Just thought to, you can't color those now, can you? Yeah, you can use Just for Men everywhere but in your nostrils, huh? Welcome to the moment of truth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You take a peek up them nostrils, oh man, it's a rough damn ride. It is a rough damn ride. That's doing something to them. Yeah, they didn't want to hear that mathematics. I'll be damned. So it's 12 noon. You took off your FUBU shirt and your Converse sneakers and your Levi's jeans that you starched the crease down the front and the back of them. What? It's about 12 noon. He's like, let me lay it down for a little bit. He's been watching ESPN in the morning. You wake up in the morning, you're right there on the couch. Ain't nothing really popping. Same thing as yesterday. Oh, it's about 12 noon time. He's like, baby, let me go lay this down right quick. Let me tell y'all something here, fellas. That's a warning damn sign your grandmamas could have told you about. When you go into bed at 12 noon and she's still awake, you think that's a good sign? Think about that for a few moments. You gonna go lay down. What's she doing? He way back up later. I want my meal made. Okay, this is a nigga who's very easy to fool. She's like, as long as you feed him, he don't know nothing wrong. So you jumping in the damn bed, you got gray hairs on your toes. Damn! Gray hairs up your nose. What? The sciatica is setting in. The bifocals over there on the damn nightstand.
Nigga, please.
He's playing his old Heavy D records. He's driving his Cadillac CTS. Cadillac XTS. Let me lay down for this nap. Sitting up here he's telling himself that he's Mr. Took Your Grandma. Think about that for a few moments. He's telling himself he Mr. Took Your Grandma. No, nigga, pad these pockets and shit like, okay, let me, Mr. Fixed Income. Let me do that. Who gonna take care of these kids? No, that's what it means. It means that. Look here, fellas. Here's a few signs that you're a pimpin' pimp. Take a look at the last 4 niggas your middle-aged broad was with. Were they all like you? If they were, that's one thing. But if everybody before you was no good and abusive and bad and reckless and drug addicts and broke and unuseful and unresourceful, okay, if everybody was radically different from you, that's your first damn clue. You just a pimpin' pimp. If the next thing is if the only difference between them and you is income, Everything else was pretty much equal except the income portion. Now, that's the major difference as well. We were all about the same, except they didn't have the money. And I do. I'm financially reliable at a level that I got stability at a level she ain't used to. Well, that's your next sign. You're the pinching pimp. Let me give you another one. You both have radically different musical tastes. What? Oh, hell. You both have radically different musical tastes. You listen to slow stuff, she listens to thought music. Hey, dude. Hey, dummy. Just thought you'd like to know. Hey, stupid. Did you go through her damn iPhone, forget looking for messages from other niggas? Did you look to that music list to see what you really got? He don't give a damn so long as she throwing them draws his way. Okay, be blissfully ignorant. But by the way, you might want to check that music list. Bonus points if you check religion. She claims to be very religious. Okay, let's see if it keeps up, because that may be no good either which way. She claims to be very religious. Okay, so she wants you to be a pinch and pimp, and she has no problem waving that Bible in front of you and talk about you supposed to take care of her. Because God said, you supposed to take care of me and these 5 bastard kids. Because God said. Oh, I'm hurting a lot of damn feelings tonight. There's going to be a whole bunch of dudes listening to this and saying, damn, that sounds familiar. You got a chick who ain't got no problem flinging that Bible around and telling you God said. Every time she want to dump in them pockets. Wait a minute now, you supposed to do that. Oh, you all thought I was going to go in the other direction. Yeah, you thought I was going to say, what if you have a chick who's pretending to be religious? Because somebody said in the chat room, what if she found Jesus? Oh, you thought I was going to go that way. You thought, oh, well, what if she's pretending to be saved? I'm like, yeah, that's an obvious danger. The one that most men don't see is the other direction. What if she's devoutly religious? Only now she sees how she can weaponize this and bash you over the head with it and bend you to her will. And tell you supposed to drop off them dollars. Jesus said, take care of me and these kids. Jesus said, get me a Birkin. Jesus said, I need a new car. Jesus said, we need to move out this house to a new one. The other issue with being a pinch and pimp is you can't hide your damn money.
Boy, what in the hell's the matter with you?
Oh, that's the other issue with being a pinch and pimp. The other problem with being a pinch and pimp is you can't hide your damn money. She knows exactly how much you get. You can't hide it. You can't conceal it. She knows exactly how much she's dealing with. When a fella is working, he can work. He can make some money. He can do some overtime. He can get a second job. He can keep her off the damn trail. When you're pinch and pimping, all she got, if she finds out how much you made 1 month, she knows how much you make for the whole damn year. That's a wrap, nigga. That's a wrap. You're done. Right then, right there. If she finds out how much you made in 1 month, she knows how much you make for the whole year. Now she knows exactly how much pressure to apply. Now she can go through all the bills and see what's spent. And as far as she's concerned, everything that doesn't go on bills should be going to her. That's how you end up with chicks sitting up here weighing you up, sizing you up, and start steadily increasing the pressure for what they quote unquote supposed to get. That's how that happens. It happens that way. Oh, I know I'm hurting feelings tonight. Here's been a long-awaited pension pimping program. It's a bunch of fellas out here, and the worst part about the pension pimps is they done messed up the game for every damn body else. It is hard to have a disciplined atmosphere when pension pimps are flying to the rescue. It is very, very difficult to have a patriarchal structure when the pension pimps are willing to give away the damn farm. When the females are running out of options, I'll be damned. She's sitting next to him, whatnot. He's got the crusty fingernails right there. He's smelling like milk of magnesia. And she's like, okay, the rent got to be paid. They've been doing it for time immemorial. Pension pimps make things rough on everybody. Pension pimps make things rough on everyone else. Salary simps make things rough on everybody else. No wonder you got females who are perpetual disciplinary problems. We can't clean up the game so long as this is going on. As long as he's willing to make one man's trash into his treasure.
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, I said it. Oh, he sounds so nasty with it. Let it be what it's gonna be. When he's willing to try to turn another man's trash into his treasure, and he gonna throw down top dollar for it, that's what's messed up right there. Right there. When a man works for 20, 30 years, he's supposed to get the best of the best after all that damn time. I'll be damned. These niggas will work 20, 30 years, 40 years, and then sit up here and go grab something out the damn Chinese restaurant back there in that trash can. Let me get this. You're not supposed to bring decades of productivity to the alley cats. But this is what we got today because females, amazingly enough, we have a whole culture that restricts sexual access when men are in their physical primes, and then it doesn't make it free, but it rations it when men are in their financial prime. So they're looking to see how desperate you are, man. It goes there with it. This is where we're at today. We talk about female culture. We need to take a moment to talk about male culture today. While we're doing all this complaining about quote unquote female culture, we need to discuss male culture today. What about that male culture? You see, let me remind you here, females are ruthless about it when there's something that they want. Women don't give a damn what happened to you. Men talk about love and commitment. I had to remind you all about this before. Another element of pension pimping. Nigga, for you pension pimps who think your chick is with you for you, nigga, if you lost your income, would your chick sit up here and pick up the damn slack? What? You know damn well that would never happen. The same female you got sitting next to you, that nigga, if you didn't have a money, you didn't have a pension, you didn't have a job, you didn't have that little old penny in the ass income you got to make your lame Steve Urkel looking ass sit up here and look a little bit better. If you didn't have that, you know damn well that chick would not sit up here and get a part-time job to patch nothing together. She would start auditioning your replacement if she's eligible for one. Now you know who she ain't gonna do that for? Chris Brown.
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, I said that. Now your chick would work two full-time jobs and one part-time job to be Chris Brown's broad. Chris ain't got to make $1. All he has to do is agree to show up on her damn timeline and her social media so she can say, the rest of y'all chicks run your damn mouth. I keeps my man happy. If your broad had a chance to be with Chris, that's what she'd be doing, and you know it. She would hand Chris the bucks, but she handing you the bill. And that's real talk. I ain't talking trash. You know that's reality. If you don't think you're a pension pimp, by the way, Would your female pay the bills with no input from you? Because I can name men that she will do it for, and the men she was with before you. Now, she would do it for them simply to be in their presence. But for you, if it ain't a check coming in, she can't do nothing for you. And if that check ever stopped coming in, she goes to audition your replacement. Your ass, when you take that damn old man nap today, nigga, you better keep her ear open with shit in case you get on the damn phone. Damn! Oh, when you take your old man nap today. Oh, if you take your old man nap today, as soon as you down, she checking to see if she hears snoring in that room. If she hears some snoring, Instagram in the DMs. Oh, she's on Instagram in them DMs. Checking to see if she can find her a doctor or lawyer up in there. Oh, you didn't want to hear this? You did not want to hear this at all. Pimpin done messed up the damn game, is giving improper credentials here. He's going to be Mr. Stopgap. He's going to be Mr. Stopgap. He's going to make sure they taken care of no matter what. He going to be Mr. Stopgap. I want to play one more thing for you all here. I want to play one more thing, and then I'm going to open up the Zoom for you. There was a video put out here by Bill Duke, Hollywood actor Bill Duke. You saw him in Predator, Commando, bunch of other movies there. Bill, he did an interview on Film Courage, and he said something. And I think this ties everything we talked about here tonight up into a neat little bow. This is what Bill had to say.
I had a dinner at my house. This was like a year ago. And like 9 people were there. And the discussion was about, in your lifetime, out of all of the people you've ever known, what percentage of them ended up doing what they wanted to do with their lives? Percentage was 3%. So when I look at my good fortune, all I continue to go through and have been through, but I am still doing at my age what I want to do with my life, and I wake up every day and I want to do more. I do never want to retire. No matter what the pain has been, I feel I've been blessed. Because most of my friends that I grew up with are dead. Or if they're not dead, they retired from jobs they hated that they did for 35 years or more. And they retire and they sit on the porch and go on cruises and stuff, which is okay. They never enjoy one day of work. Not one day. There's something.
Why do you think most people choose that? Because I think, most people know deep down inside what they really want to do. Is it just that it's too difficult?
Well, why do most people make that choice? I think security. There's some security in having, 2 kids and the house and the car, working at a job that gives you insurance for your family, vacations, retirement guaranteed. There's a certain security about having that. Some people weigh happiness against security. For 90% of people, security always wins. Particularly if you have kids, because once you have a child, your life is secondary to the needs of what you've created in this world. But there's another side to it, in that if you wake up every morning and you don't have security, but you love waking up, you love going to work, you love the fight, no matter how painful it is, you will, okay, Goliath, my stone's not that big, but I see your damn eye, man. I see right here, man. I'm not saying today, But you see this little, I'm twirling the stone, you know.
You hear Bill talking about he doesn't want to retire. He wants to keep at it. He wants to keep going. He wants to stay competitive. That's rare, man. Now, there was something else that he said in here also. It's not that long, but there was something else that he said in there also that is a reminder to us. It's a reminder to us about how much people lie about things. It's a reminder to us about how much people lie about things and how much they want to lie about them. That's the killing part. Not just that they lie about them, but they want to lie about them. Because it's usually convenient to lie to you about that. It's usually convenient to do that. So yeah, they're going to go ahead and tell you whatever in the world they think you want to hear because it's convenient to do that. Especially if you're with somebody who's telling you that. Especially if you're with somebody who's telling you what they think you want to hear. You want to hear that you got it and it's easy. You want to hear that you got it and it's easy. You want to hear that it's never too late. You want to hear that you're still going to be able to do that. I want to play one more part from that for you here because I thought that was very good. That was the inspiring part. This is the more sobering part of it.
And so what it gave me is no matter what anybody else says about my work and I see it in the theater, I know it could be better. And I'm always thinking about, man, I wish I had one more day or one more take with that actor or whatever it is. I could have done it better. So they gave you a realistic understanding of the industry and prepared you for it pretty well. I think what every school does, it sends you out there with hopes and dreams. It tells you that it's not going to be easy, but they really don't tell you how hard it's really going to be. Because I think they don't want to discourage you because it's like, it's a beast. I mean, not only for black people, anybody. I mean, it's like, why are we doing it? You wonder sometimes. Well, you know, I could retire. I mean, I could just live. But you know, there's something that I had a dinner at my house. This was like a year ago.
They don't prepare you for that. And most people are going to keep trying at it, and that's going to be what they're expecting. That's what they're going to be hoping for. That's what they're going to be counting on. That's what they're going to be looking for somebody to arrive at some point. And if your chick has spent her life getting run through, getting messed by, and you're just the last best train leaving, if that tends to be the case, then you're doing something different. You're doing something different. And there are a lot of folk who want to make sure that you can't see that. There are a lot of folk who want to make sure you can't see that. If you're a guy who's leveraging his income, that's an issue. Pinch and pimping, you think it's going to go that simple, but that's an issue. Pinch and pimping is an issue. Okay, in the chat room here, folks, if I haven't mentioned somebody, don't do that. Let's not try to take over the chat room now. If I haven't mentioned somebody, let's not take over and start. If you want to have a conversation about something other than what I'm talking about, do it elsewhere. So if you're mentioning names in the chat room that I didn't mention, by the way, if you get timed out, that's because you know you're violating the rules. So, yeah, not cool. Just saying, if you like to discuss something else, that's great. Go to another channel. In the meantime here, let me go ahead and get the Zoom up and going for you here. We're talking about pinch and pimping tonight. We're talking about the pinch and pimping tonight here. If you're aged out of the game, it's a bunch of fellas out here. Let's just say like it is. You've gotten older. Things didn't really pop off like you thought. You wish you had something fly, but them pockets got to do what they do. The natural charisma is not there. And for the females, you're finding yourself next to the dude that'll take you. She's trying to talk herself into believing I'm all right. Yeah, but you can't talk yourself into genuine passion. You can't talk yourself into it. You either got it or you don't. You either got it or you don't. He either brings it for you or he doesn't. It's simple as that. They either bring it for you or they don't. It's either in there or it's not. So you can't pretend your way through it. You can't do that. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work. Hell of a situation for you to be in there. It's a bad situation for the pinch and pimp and for the pensioner or the beneficiary. It's a sad sack situation. It throws off the damn numbers for every damn body else. It shows you don't know what your worth is, or maybe you do. Maybe you do. Maybe that's what you were put here to do. Maybe you were put here to live out your final years carrying somebody else's burden, overpaying, pretending that you got a Ferrari when you got a Ford. And I ain't even talking about the GT. Maybe that's what you're supposed to be. Maybe that's what you're supposed to be. Maybe you're supposed to be that guy. Maybe you're supposed to get in where you fit in. Maybe you're supposed to just take all of your years and decades of accumulated effort and resources, and you're going to bring $1 million of resources to $10,000 of feminine value. You're just a guy who's used to overpaying, getting shortchanged. Oh, yeah, and one more thing, getting laughed at. That's the other thing. You never saw a pinch and pimp. The dudes were like, hey, you really hitting there. It's never been that kind of thing. It's never been that. It's like, oh, okay, that's where you're supposed to be at. Right there. Right there. That's where you're supposed to be. Right there. You see, even for the fellows who want to sit up here and talk about the guys who bag something in their 20s or early 30s, that's the exception. Pinch and pimps don't get that. Pinch and pimps don't get something that's actually in its prime or its prime real estate. So you can talk about the chicks that Eddie Murphy or a football player or Michael Jordan would get. These niggas ain't Michael Jordan. They're getting the chick works down there at the Waffle House. They're getting the little worn out little rag down. They're getting that. That's what pinch and pimping is doing. The issue, though, is that it sends a message to younger females that it doesn't matter how badly they rag themselves out. There will be some simped out, simptastic idiot out there who is willing to, that, you know, they talk about pulling the simps off the damn simp tree. Okay, well, if worse comes to worse, I'll get my Anna Nicole Smith on and get some old timer. And he'll pay some bills. He ain't putting me in Beverly Hills, but he'll pay some bills. I really wanted Beverly Hills. That's not going to happen, but he'll pay the rent. I mean, if I ain't got to do it, is that kind of mathematics to it? It's a sad situation. It's a sad situation, but that's what she's getting in at. All right, we got Brother Elijah here on Zoom. Brother Elijah, what's on your mind?
Hey, good evening, Big Brother Jason. How are you doing? $1 with a fan.
All right, Brother Elijah, what's on your mind?
Hey, Big Brother. Excellent broadcast tonight. I want to start from the beginning with the whole Kendra G. I think Kendra G is a microcosm for a lot of Black women who they can talk all that stuff about they want the men who have the cars, the house, the lifestyle. But the way, when I hear her speak, I still get those ungrateful vibes. Like, it's more of, you gotta do it for me more because I'm me. All right, not because You don't have to, like, saying you're not grateful. You just think you're the hottest thing walking, and you got to give me what I want. Am I wrong for saying that?
Well, no, I mean, you're correct about that, because here's the thing. Kendra can talk that garbage because she's not actually being expected to uphold it. What?
Yes, sir.
I mean, the female's not holding her accountable. Remember, these are not statements of fact. I've been telling you all this now for over a decade. These are not statements of fact. These are political statements. When the females make statements like this and uphold and defend these things, they're not saying them because they are factually accurate. They're saying them because these are their political positions. Think of them as sexual politics. These are their sexual political positions, that they should get everything, that their ideal relationship is that they get everything and don't have to give a man nothing. That you'll be this great trophy male and you'll give her everything and she doesn't have to give you anything. That is their sexual political persuasion. Kendra G was merely articulating that. It doesn't matter that it's not real. It doesn't matter that it's not factual. This is their policy position. And just like any government, governments have policy positions all the time that they're unable to enforce or unable to fulfill. That happens all the time. Okay, but does that change what their position is? Let me give you an example. The government of China. The government of China's political position is that Taiwan is still a part of China.
Yes, sir.
However, is China enforcing that today? Are they going to war over it? They might in the future, but they're not tonight. China is not actively enforcing or pursuing that policy. We know they want it. We know, but that's their political position. Regardless of whether or not it's a tangible reality or even a realistic reality, that is their position. In the Middle East, when the Arabs talk about wiping out Israel, that's not realistic. America made sure they're armed to the damn teeth. That's not realistic. Okay, it's not realistic, but that's their political position. Even if it's not something that can actually happen. Now, the sexual politics of females in America. I want a Bentley. I want a 10,000 square foot house in the hills. I want a $10,000 a week shopping budget. And I want you to pay for it and for me to not have to work anymore. Well, that's her political position. And that's what she's going to face you with. That's going to be her forward-facing appearance. But that doesn't mean she can act, that she actually thinks she can do it, but that is what she is going to state as her policy. And the rest of female society is going to back that. They're going to back it because they agree with that policy position. And they're hoping against hope that it can happen for them. Now, the truth of the matter is they're all hoping for a Bentley. They usually get a Buick. They're all hoping for a Birkin. They usually get a Coach bag. They're all hoping for that, but they're pushing for it anyway. Because as far as females are concerned, you don't get what you don't ask for. And you don't get what you don't push for 100% of the time. So what do I lose by pushing for it and demanding it? I don't lose anything by demanding it. If I don't demand it, I guarantee won't get it. If I do demand it, I might get it.
Big brother, I want to ask a controversial question, follow up to what you just said, because things have gotten out of whack, and what you just said, I'm gonna try to articulate it as best I can. Why would us and this is no shot to other FBA sisters. I'm just talking about this one. Why would we provide all of that for a woman who's not herself? Here's what I mean. Fake hair, right? And then you got fake hair that's not even your natural color hair. Fake nails, makeup. All right? You're not coming in the form of the late great Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. You're not coming in the form of the late great Dr. Betty Shabazz. You're not coming in the form of the late great Coretta Scott King, and whose them sisters had far less but deserved far more. What would make somebody fake like you, who's not a writer, not doing nothing for us, at least vocally, make you believe you deserve to be walking into that nice mansion because what? So you can just compete with your white female counterparts?
No, they're competing with what they see on television. We've been competing against that forever. Radio, romance novels, Reddit. Females have an entire fantasy world that men don't know anything about, bruh.
Yes, sir.
Let me give you all an example. Take a look at the YouTube. There is a completely different YouTube algorithm for your females than there is for you. What?
Yes, sir.
I need the men to understand this tonight. Fellas, there is a completely different, completely separate YouTube algorithm for the females, a completely separate Facebook algorithm, a completely separate Instagram algorithm. Their timelines look radically different from yours. The channels that are suggested to them, the subjects that are suggested to them, whole YouTube channels and spheres that you never heard of on TikTok. Women have a completely different algorithm feed than you get. Ain't no Joe Rogan on their feed, man. Ain't no UFC on their feed. Ain't no gangster rap stuff unless you just listen to that. The stuff on handyman stuff and fixing cars, that's not on the women's timelines.
Yes, sir.
She's getting Tiana Taylor and whoever's swinging booty meat this week and whoever's doing their lame ass makeup tips that they're all messing each other up and looking like Bozo the Clown. That's what they're seeing on theirs, bro.
Yes,
they're
sir.
getting that. Everything is pink and silver and, a bunch of videos about manifesting.
Yes, sir.
You see, as a man, your timeline gives you videos from men. So from men, our videos are about here's how much you have to put down on a Bentley, how much you have to put down on an Aston Martin DBS, how much you have to put down on a Ferrari F80. Here's how you can qualify for it. You get VinWiki talking about here's what the down payment is, Premier Financial, what the total cost is, how to repair them. That's what's on your timeline. The females are getting just a bunch of chicks wearing beekeeper sunglasses who have just mystically, magically appeared in a G-Wagon or a Maybach or a Ferrari, talking about living my soft life. That's what's on their timeline. Not one thing about repairs. Here's the killing part. Not one thing about finance or down payment. What?
Yes,
nothing about how you're gonna pay for it. Just everything is a bunch of females selling each other on I mystically, magically appeared here. That's what's on their timelines. You guys as men, please understand me. Your Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, your feed looks totally different from your girlfriend, totally different from your sister, totally different from your wife. Your timelines do not look the same at all. So I've seen some of this stuff. It's a nonstop glitter feed. It really is. There are whole channels of females, just like we got the men out here like the Derek Jacksons. There are female versions of Derek Jackson. What? Just like we got the Grant Cardones, and the guys out here talking about getting rich quick. For the females, they've got female versions of that. And I'm not talking about just Miss Sprinkle Sprinkle. I'm not talking about her. There's a gang of white women on Instagram. That's their thing. I need y'all to understand that. I'm not talking about Miss Sprinkle Sprinkle. There's a gang of white women on Instagram. Their whole thing is putting up so-called inspirational videos of them driving expensive cars and being on boats and talking about manifesting. There's a whole ecosystem of a bunch of profiles and accounts you never heard of. And they're not small accounts either. Brother, these are folks, y'all ain't never even heard of them. Most of these females in here have. And these are a bunch of white women. I'm not even going to talk about the black ones. I'm talking about a gang of white women. That's their thing. Now, whether it's some white men who set up the channels or whatever the case may be, my point is there's a gang of them selling this to other females, selling the imagery, selling the visuals, selling this dream. There's a gang of them. There's literally dozens of them just on Instagram alone. Forget YouTube. On Instagram alone, putting up shorts all damn day, bruh. All day. So that's what's hitting the females' feeds. They watch it all the time. I'm not even talking about the makeup tutorials and hair stuff. I'm just talking about the ones selling you on, hey, you should be living soft life and expensive things, and the people who said I'd never make it, and there's a whole gang of that going on. Whole gang of it.
Yes, sir. Hey, brother, you made another point, and I don't know, I'm numb to this because this is very controversial. Our sister, Dawn Robinson, she comes out, does a feed, and tells the world she's been living in her car for the last 3 years. And I remember her from a child. I was 6 years old back in 1990 when they came out with their debut single, Hold On. And I always thought In Vogue, all of them together, was some of the sexiest, most beautiful black women out there, even though a lot of them were old enough to be my mother, respectively. All right. I remember in 1996, early 1997, excuse me, she out of nowhere left the group, okay? And unfortunately for the other band members, when she left, their career started taking a downturn. Then I remember when I was in high school, she was with Raphael Sadiq. She joined the group Lucy Pearl. And where she's at today, I'm looking at yesterday, she blew opportunity after opportunity, okay? Are we expected to feel bad for her when she kept leaving these great opportunities, and now look where she winds up 25 years later after leaving those groups? And I would imagine she was the problem.
Shout out here to my man Demands and Michael Odoms. Shout out to y'all here. Let me go ahead and see if I can throw this up here right quick, because I think they got me what I was looking for. I think they got me what I was looking for here. They had it from R&B Divas. Yeah, I think they got me what I was looking for here, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I wasn't crazy. I remember all of this. Nobody wants to talk about that. I pretty much remember that. Let me go ahead and fair use YouTube, although lately that doesn't really matter for very much. That doesn't really matter for very much here lately, but let me go ahead and throw this up here right quick. My thing is trying to freeze up. Let me try to get that back up here. But yeah, I thought that's what I had seen. Let me go ahead and get this on the screen right quick. Let me get Han Solo off of here. Okay, this is what I think we were looking for here. Better late than never.
Today, Chris and I are going to the Southern California Foster Family and Adoption Agency. And we're meeting with Robin Harrod. She is the Adoption Program Director. Hi.
Hi. How are you? Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. And we just want to see what the process is about. And so we're very excited. But it's going to be interesting. I'm happy to be going there with him today.
So tell me.
Okay. Yeah. Nobody else on YouTube, by the way. Where's the rest of the folk on YouTube? Where are the rest of the folk on YouTube to remember this? Tell me the other YouTube channels. Shout out there to my man Demands. Shout out to my man Demands and Michael for finding that, because I went looking for it and couldn't. I had to remember it. But oh yeah, everybody's talking about her ex-husband. But by the way, show me any other YouTube channel that brought this up while she's living in her car now. They'll all be talking about it next week, or they're all going to be too ashamed that they didn't remember any of this. But, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm giving y'all the business. Oh, yeah, by the way, back in 2019, I remembered about that. But here's my thing. I don't think this is the guy I was thinking about. What? Because the one I'm thinking about was a much older white man. Not this guy. So I'm actually, I know what y'all sent me here. I just want to say, by the way, very interesting, because the one that I remember was an older one, not this guy. So I'm like, y'all might have found an extra zaddy out there somewhere. The one I'm talking about is an older white man, older than this guy. So we need to put out an APB. We need to put out an APB. I still think there's one more on the loose. I think there's at least one more on the loose. Calling all coloreds. Be on the lookout. White male. Early 70s. Used to bob his head to R&B music in the 90s. Last seen wearing a blue leisure suit. But in any case, sitting there with washed up R&B singers. But yeah, y'all, like I say, thank you very much for finding this fella here. So it does prove one thing. But by the way, the one I'm talking about is older. So yeah, but by the way, just a brief reminder to all the YouTube channels out there that none of them mentioned this, because none of them remembers, even though they lived it, but clearly they weren't paying attention. Oh yeah, by the way, can we talk about how Dawn was getting down? And when you run out of sponsors, and the nostalgia wears off and you are too old, dudes ain't paying for 56-year-old cleavage. You are too damn old for them to, you don't even have that new car smell that you had back in the 2005s. You can't come popping up in 2025 thinking that you got that new car smell from 1997. It doesn't work that way. So here you are trying to flex it. You've been all over the place. The music industry's had its way. You got married, got divorced. You went to go find some zaddies. They had their fun on the roller coaster and then jumped off of it. And you're waiting for yet one more sponsor to come along and to fulfill, your expectations. And she's please understand, she's still got expensive tastes. She got expensive taste. She got expensive habits. And she sees living in her car as holding out for a better deal. That she's willing to show you that she's willing to hold out, and that if you don't give her everything she wants, then she ain't going to take nothing.
Yes, sir.
That's what you're looking at. And at this point here, everybody doesn't have their turn, so she doesn't understand, baby, you ain't got no leverage. You don't have any leverage.
Hey, brother, this is a very sobering program, all right? And thank you so much for taking my Zoom call, and I'm going to land my plane for the other brothers and sisters. D$1 sign.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Yeah, thank you to the brothers went ahead and got that to me there, because nobody else was talking about, by the way, wasn't she running around with some zaddies out here? Everybody went looking for her ex-husband, but neither TMZ nor anybody else mentioned the white men that she's been running around with since she got divorced. Because I want to say the thing I was looking at said they got divorced back in 2007. Why isn't TMZ or anybody else talking about all the white men that she been dating for the last 18 years? The white men that she was frequenting for the last 18 years. If it's been 18 years since she got divorced from her husband, ain't none of them saying nothing about none of them dudes. So Jason Black has to come and remind you all, by the way, didn't she used to get down like that? While you're looking at her ex-husband, how about all these other men what were they doing with her and for her all this time? While you trying to throw this in her ex-husband's face? What about all the men she been with since? Oh, we ain't gonna mention none of them. Okay, we're just not gonna say anything about them. All right, let me go ahead and get Robert up here on Zoom. Robert, what's on your mind?
PBA, one of the greatest master teachers in the history of our lineage, and our anchor man of the new black media. I just wanted to say that real quick. TBA, this broadcast so on point, man. Like when this Don story first broke a couple days ago or whenever, a week ago, I was checking out just various internet posts and broadcasts and media outlets that was reporting on the story. And when I would go into the comments, bro, I kept seeing so many dudes in the comments like, you can come move with me tonight. You can live in my house free. And I mean, I understand Dawn, a very attractive woman, especially in 91, you know, when she was in her heyday, but I was just like, God damn, like, dudes was jumping out there like crazy. And I know she probably couldn't read them comments and wouldn't care about them, the comments, if she was able to read them. But I was just tripping off of how many dudes, man, that was just in them comment section, like, just simping out like that. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, but it's easy to simp out when you ain't gonna break no bread. It's easy to simp out when all it costs you is to type some letters. You're not gonna be required to actually do anything. She don't want anybody in her face right now talking about nostalgia. She doesn't want any super fans. She doesn't want any nostalgia niggas. She wants some dudes who gonna pony up some bread and elevate that lifestyle and cash her out for all of the talent and good vibes she gave you over the last 30 years. That's what she wants right now. She wants that.
Yeah, it was so, like you said, man, it was so many nostalgia niggas in them comments, man. It had me laughing. One last thing, though, TBA, before I go. And another thing, man, I just want to thank you, bro, for always updating our files, because, like, Kevin Samuels, like you call him Kitten Hills, I be tripping whenever you say that. That's so funny to me. But Kevin Samuels had a lot of black men feeling like, you know, when you hit 40, 45, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? You in the game now, and women ready start treating you a certain type of way, but you know what I mean? You be on point, TBA. Like, it ain't all about a certain age or you know, necessarily reaching your financial peak. It's about activity. It's about, you know, being a live nigga, you know what I mean? Being in the fight, you know what I mean? Being productive, you know, having that killer will still at 45, 50. So, yeah, I just wanted to thank you. You keep us on point, man. I be thinking to myself, you like, TBA must have read 1,000 books, 10,000 books, you know what I mean? The depth of your knowledge, man. But keep up the great work, man. And thanks as always, man. Enjoying the broadcast, man.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Yeah, it's important to have an alternative ecosystem, because if all you have are your corporate media outlets, they're not going to go doing the digging that I did. They're not going to do the digging. They won't recollect any of this. You all haven't seen anybody, including your favorite YouTubers, go out of their way to remind you, hey, everybody's talking about Dawn, and everyone talked about the video that her ex-husband put up. Why is it that no one has reminded you about the white men? Ain't nobody reminded you about the white men. While they're talking about what she getting or what she ain't, or where she living and where she not. And, okay, and what about the white men? Can we talk to them? Can we speak to them to see what they think? Or better yet, what part they played in it? Damn! Why is it nobody's going to talk to these white men to find out what part they played in her ending up where she is? Can we ask them some questions about what potentially they did to get her where she is today? Now, there's let's talk to the men she been with after her ex-husband. And nobody's talking to them. Interesting that TMZ don't want to talk to them. And if I didn't remind you all tonight, your favorite YouTubers, I'm just telling you, they're not journalists. They didn't even remember any of this. Many of them, they saw it, but they couldn't be bothered to remember it. They moved on to the Kardashians or Chloe Bailey or whatever, pop singer came after that. So I got to come back and tell you, by the way, this is journalism. Quiet as kept. Hey, it's a good thing the internet is forever, because I'm like, hey, what about those white men? Jason, what white men? We can't find them. Go looking for them. You'll find them. I'll be damned. There they are. Now we can have a different conversation now. Now, if you want to talk about Dawn Robinson and where she is today, let's have a different conversation now. Stop talking about her ex-husband. Let's talk about the men who came after that, and why is it that they did or didn't do anything for her. Let's have that conversation. Now that we finally unearthed them and said, hey, by the way, yeah, there were some white dudes there. Let's have that conversation. Where's TMZ? Let me go ahead and get my man Elliot up here on Zoom. Elliot, what's on your mind?
What's up, Jason? Of course, the broadcast is always important and informative. And I'm going to echo a point that you've made, I said about a year ago, and it's a phrase that held true. You said, everybody has an invested interest to lie to women. I don't care if it's politics. I don't care if it's entertainment, corporate America. Everybody wants to lie to women because they know women are a huge consumer base. And so after you get done coming out the fairy tale world, those lies then kind of permeate into the real world, where they hear commercials and they hear all the marketing towards them, and everybody just has something to say to women, not because they really care about them, they just want their money. And so it gets hard having to educate women on the reality of things. And another point to that is like, every time you hear about a celebrity divorce, one thing all the women always say is, no matter what the status is that she has, whatever, they all lie and say, well, she had more money than him. And I'm like, where do you get this stuff from? And I'm hearing, and the latest example is Iman Shumpert and Tiana Taylor. They're all trying to make it seem like she had all this money and then she was helping them out. And it's like, what was she doing to get her money? Y'all can't tell me where she got the money from, because all she had was one album.
I mean, I think they claimed
the album didn't do well.
I don't know if she was
So
selling clothing or something, but she apparently had some business interests of her own. That's cool. Right. That's great. That's wonderful. But the bottom line is, it's not like he was dependent on her for anything. So anybody who says she was doing something for him, then you're psycho, and the internet's overflowing with those. Here's the real issue. The real issue is him and her were running around talking about doing their great threesomes and stuff and how they be breaking broads down. And now she's mom of the year, talking about getting her back. Can y'all let me get my back blown out in peace? So I'm like, yeah, that's mom of the year right there. That's mom of the year. Mom of the year. That's her response. She just said that, a day or two ago. She didn't like me. Iman, y'all stop talking about me so she can do. Okay, so yeah, look, the bottom line is, hey, dudes, when you make your priority sex, it doesn't end well. There's a whole bunch of hoes who will pretend to be housewives, or at least they will just flood you with sex. So you're finding like, instead of fighting and arguing to get it, now she's just saturating you with as much sex as you want, however you want it, with whoever you want. And what I'm saying is that now you got to live with the hoe. Now you two have to get along at things other than sex. And what you found out is the only time we get along is when we're having sex. The rest of the time, you're an animal. You're animalistic, you're narcissistic, you're schizophrenic. Yeah, dude, you're not having sex with her. And that blinded you. And there's a lot of females understand that most males are either sex starved or sex obsessed. And that as long as he's getting sex, like I said, I told y'all, sex turns most men's brains off. So as long as he's getting some sex, that turns his brain off. Whenever he starts talking to you in a suspicious manner, Have some sex with him, it'll turn his brain off. If he wants to start calling you out and checking you on stuff you're doing you shouldn't be doing, hurry up and get some sex on him, and that'll diffuse the argument. He's not going to want to argue anymore. This will shut him up. Yeah, until something he can't ignore happens, then now he doesn't even want to have sex. Yeah, now he's in a bind. So in Iman's case, it just proves what I've always told y'all. There was nothing he wanted to do with Tiana that he couldn't have done single. There was no reason to marry her. That was foolishness. There was no reason. She's not wife material. So don't come crying now. She ain't no wife. She never was. She never was. So this is where he's at today, and your hope. Now here's the crazy part about it. It doesn't really matter what happens now. It matters what happens 5 years from now. Well, Jason, what do you mean? Well, Tiana is talking all this boss babe stuff right now. But bro, we all know how this game go.
Right.
Her income is going to be dependent on swinging them booty cheeks and how much attention she can get on Instagram. But when flapping that booty meat don't really work anymore, because it's time for the next young chick, whether they're a single mom or not, to come up the ramp and the money start drying up, she going to be hitting them up for more paper. Hey, dude, we need to boost, because your money going to come regardless. We need to boost this money for the kids. It's going to be for the kids. Oh, we got to double the child support. All of a sudden, it's going to be, we got to double the child support. And mark my words, when she hands the sob story, the females on the internet going to be behind her no matter what. They're going to have her back. First, it was, she don't need no man. When she gets done, it's going to be, you got to take care of them kids. He owe her. Females, they're going to say that he owes her.
Yeah. Like no, I'm not gonna talk about that. But yeah, you're right. And the guys have to start looking at character issues with the women. I dated a chick one time, and she told me how she dozed off on the side of the road and hit a mailbox, right? And I said to myself, I wonder did she go back and tell her neighbor she fucked their mailbox up? But she never told me the complete story. So the next time she told that story, I asked her specifically. I said, hey, when you hit that mailbox, did you drive home and hide your truck, or did you tell the neighbor that you hit the mailbox? And she looked at me kind of like, wait a minute. She told me, she was like, I just hid my car in the garage. I said, oh, okay. Like, I'm not going to hold it against you, but yeah, I know a little bit more about you now.
Please understand, if they lie,
like,
to you, they'll lie on you. If they lie to you, they'll lie on you. And do not believe they're going to treat other people differently from you. That's the biggest deception you can give yourself, is that, oh, that was just a one-time thing. No, it's not. That's convenience. So if it's convenient for her, she did that to somebody else. And if it becomes convenient to do it to you, it's going to happen to you.
Amen.
So fellas, you cannot be sex obsessed. You cannot be sex focused. Everything can't be sex is the damn deal breaker. I didn't say that. I didn't say it's not a priority or whatever in its context, but you got fellas trading in everything else for sexual access. The real problem we got today, Elliot, is most males don't have a personality.
Right.
And they're trying to use income to make up for their lack of personality. And they don't like it when females meet Mr. Swagalicious or whatever. Those are guys who develop personality. They don't like that. I mean, let's just keep it real. Iman didn't really have a personality like that. You have a female who so obviously considers herself to be smarter than you. She considers herself to be smarter and more savvy than you. Tiana Taylor is like Brittany Renner without the polish. When you listen to her and the way she's going at Iman right now, listen to her. She sounds like Brittany Renner. She's not as genteel in the way she speaks, but she's like Brittany Renner without the polish. I'm a little bit more expecting her to say, all these athletes is dumb niggas. I'm a little bit more, and I'm expecting her to say that. Because she wants to say it. Mark my words, at some point, and you all can call me on the day it happens, and I'm talking about directly, at some point she's going to make a direct, degrading comment about his intelligence. At some point, she's going to make a directly denigrating commentary about his intelligence. She's going to say something real slick and real nasty about how smart he isn't. That's the only thing I see missing right now. When that happens, I'll be like, there it is. There it is right there. There it is. You were useful for a while. You're not useful anymore. Whatever the case may be. She's like, okay, let me let this court whoop your ass.
And you make a good point, man. Like your teachings are on point, man. If people could thread that needle, I like what you said about if a woman's passionate about you, that is a great trait. That is a great attribute for a man to utilize in a woman. Her being passionate for you. That is great. And on top of that, kind of like what you said about men not having personalities, I think the biggest issue with our men is the confidence. Like they don't have the confidence at an early age to get snuffed out. If the mom ain't snuffing it out, it's the school systems, it's somebody trying to snuff it out, and the men aren't really there to build them up. Kind of like not custom model, but what was Muhammad Ali's corner trainer, Dundee? What's his name? Dundee? We don't have those men in the corner to keep building the men up, but it gets snuffed out early. And so by the time we get to the game, when one chick that looks good, it's a wrap. We just drop our draws and that's it, But it's the confidence.
Well, here's the thing. Most men cannot define or identify passion. And this is why females, you got to give it to the women. They know how to play the game. If you're a man who cannot identify what passion is, then you think sex is passion.
Right.
You think different types of sex is passion. You think that's what it is. Then in the 21st century, having stupid conversations about who does oral sex. This is where we are. Do you realize how backwards that is? That's not even pedestrian. This is just handicap parking.
Yeah.
Think about that for a few moments.
Yeah.
Most males think that sex is passion. If she's willing to have sex with you, there's passion. And nothing could be further from the truth. Women have sex for a green card. They have sex for a discounted Disney World. Women have sex. Women have sex
to get in the club.
They have sex for concert tickets.
Yes.
Nigga, what? Women have sex for handbags. They have sex for rent. But most males are sex deprived. So because the women encounter sex all the time, it's the men who infrequently encounter sex. So he thinks that sex is passion, and women are like, dude, sex is a discount card. Sex is like swiping a discount card. If I want a discount, sex. And especially if you got a little nice shape to you, wiggle them hips, discount. Oh, I got a flat tire, wiggle them hips. I want a discount. Show some cleavage. Oh, the man at the store is giving me trouble about returning this thing. Show some more cleavage. As men, those are not options to us. I'll be damned. We got to pay full price for every damn thing. If a man gets it, he had to earn it. We can't get nobody to knock a price off of anything unless you got a great credit score. Women show some cleavage, we'll knock $1,000 off.
Yep.
Men, it's like, nigga, you better get a credit score with 10 more points. You want that price coming down. We got to earn it. So with that being the case, most men do not understand what passion actually is. Passion is when the female is staring into your eyes across the table. Passion is when she's fawning at you. Look up the definition of fawning, F-A-W-N-I-N-G. That's passion. Passion is when she's offering to buy you things. Passion is when she's demanding your time, not your sex, your time. She wants to be in your presence. Passion is when she's sending you text messages in the morning. You ain't got to contact her. That's passion right there. And most men don't get that. He's being Russell Wilson. Oh, baby, I love you. I need you. You're so great and wonderful. Dude, you're not passion. You're utility. I'll let you have the last word.
Right. That's it, man. I'm not going to add to nothing what you got to say, man. Keep rolling, bro. I'm listening.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Very, very important to keep in mind. Very, very important to understand. Pinching pimps. That's why I started off the program talking about, you know what? I need to divorce you from this gray hair thing, fellas. I need to divorce you from this gray hair thing. And it's not simply because I got an unfair advantage. Genetics, it is what it is. What I am saying is that, by the way, please stop telling yourself that that has the value you think it does. The females that you see, you don't see any 25-year-old females talking about salt and pepper, silver fox, take your grandma. You don't hear no 25, 30-year-old females talking about that. You hear some baby mamas talking about that. You hear some former fatties. You hear some size 16s. You hear some chicks needing a bailout talking about. Y'all have never stopped to analyze the females big up in that. It's not the chicks you trying to brag on. It's the females in the food stamp line, the females looking for a bailout. Those are the ones talking like that. You have not met a 25-year-old, 30-year-old female built to the nines, knee deep off in the game, making her mark, got folks looking her up and down, and that's what she's doing. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So that's a sign that you've been hoodwinked, man. You've been confused. I ain't dissing nobody. I'm just saying, hey, we're kind of hoodwinked and confused about it. It ain't what you think it is. It ain't what you think it is. These are things that men want to believe because they want to believe as they get older that they still have their pick of the litter. And I'm not saying that what you brought home was necessarily a hound dog. I didn't say that. But what I am saying is that, come on now. That competitive edge to it, that's a whole different animal. That's a whole different animal with that competitive edge. That's a whole different animal with what you can expect. That's a whole different animal about what you can have and what you're going to bring in there. That's a whole different thing. I ain't saying you can't get a Nicole Murphy. I'm not saying you can't get one of them, but I'm just saying let's call it for what it is now. When you get to a certain point and you start having to leverage in finances and she wants stability and it's like, okay, what I'm telling you is the guy she has passion for, she works for. What? The men that women have passion for, they work for. She wants to show him that he is worth her effort. The man that she doesn't have passion for drains her. Oh, you ain't gonna like this. Did y'all ever consider that your grandmama couldn't stay with your granddaddy if he didn't have some paper because it's like, this nigga kind of lame? If he ain't got some benefits coming in, I don't think I can stick around here. You don't want to talk about your grandmama's sexual history. I understand that's sticky territory. I get it. But can y'all just keep it on the bricks? You think the females today any different from them back then? Please. Stop fooling yourself. Stop fooling yourself. Women love talking about working. How the hell y'all think that changes? Women love talking about working to the point that men are endlessly complaining about females prioritizing their job. Females ain't got a damn. First of all, women don't do real work. What? First of all, women don't do real work. Damn. Women don't do manual labor.
And deal with it, nigga.
Women got bull jive ass soft jobs already. Y'all talking about soft life. Y'all live the soft life all the damn time. Women don't do real jobs. You do indoor sitting jobs. Women don't do manual labor. Women don't do dangerous work. Let me give you all an example. There's a company called Hellfire. What? Oh, I got niggas scared right now. Jason, what? For my folk who were in the military back in 1991 when the Saddam Hussein got kicked out of Kuwait. Remember what he did? He blew up the oil wells. They went from oil well to oil well, setting them on fire. Remember? On their way out of Kuwait, they went to oil well, setting them on fire. And America, we brought in a company called Hellfire. Don't believe me? Look it up for yourselves. A company called Hellfire. It was their job to go cap those firing wells. Their job was to go up to those wells that were on fire and to cap them. Are you familiar with the process of capping a well that's on fire? Let me introduce you to it right quick. The science of putting out a well that's on fire, because it requires science. What hellfire does is hellfire goes in with explosives, because you can't just put water on a petroleum fire to put it out. It won't extinguish it. What you can do, however, is set off an explosion that hopefully burns up all of the oxygen in the immediate vicinity, and that explosion will allow you enough time to get in there and cap the well. So what they would do is they would set off these explosives, and if it worked correctly, for a few minutes there would be oil gushing out of the well instead of fire coming out, and the guys would go out there with their aluminum-looking flame retardant suits, and there would be fire trucks that would be spraying them down with water the entire time. So imagine trying to cap a well while you're being sprayed down with water. The water was not to keep the well from reigniting. The water was to keep water on the guys in case the well ignited again, because that would frequently happen when the wells were still so hot that there was still a risk that they would spontaneously reignite, and you sitting there trying to cap it. So you're at ground zero. Would you like to count how many females there were walking up to cap those wells?
And deal with it, nigga.
Nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
Nigga, please.
Would somebody like to do a head count of how many females were marching with their flame retardant aluminum colored suits on to walk up to that well after you just set off an explosion, hoping that you can cap it before it reignites? And you can't put enough zeros on that damn check to get a single female listening to me live or recorded, now or in the future, to go do it. You can't put enough zeros on that check. She'd rather work the damn checkout register at Redbox. What? I didn't say Walmart, I said Redbox. She'd rather do that. I want to see one female in here say, Jason, you lying. I'd go. That sounds like a fun job to me. I would love to be of service. I'm waiting for one female who's going to sit up here strong and independent, one of these boss babes at the oil well, to put out the damn fire. Even to be contrary. There's not a single female in here who will even be contrary. They like, hell, somebody might be listening. Oh yeah, one more thing. Hellfire wasn't a company that was brought into existence when Saddam Hussein was igniting the oil wells in Kuwait. Hellfire was already in existence, which means this is actually normal work in the oil industry. What? For people who work in oil fields, having to put out rigs that get set on fire, that's normal in the oil industry. At oil refineries have their own fire departments, in case you didn't know. That's a normal thing in the oil industry, to have to put out fires and rigs that are on fire. Hellfire was a company that worked around the world. Okay. Women don't do that kind of work. They take applications every damn day. Don't you think they want something cute with some perfume on the damn job? Women ain't going. The women are like, you can burn down every damn oil well in this damn nation. I'm not going. We'll all be riding bicycles if I got to put that fire out. So my point is that they don't do that. Okay, so she's damn sure not trying to figure out how to buy the Bentley, the Birkin, the Benz. She ain't trying to figure out how to do any of that. While you sitting up here saying, let me throw it all on the damn line. I'm just introducing some reality to it. Now, I want to say one more thing, and I ain't supposed to say this here. I'm not supposed to say it here, but I'm going to go ahead and say it here anyway. Oh, we're going to get a little bit into the dark arts tonight. You ain't going to like it, but we're going to get a little grimy with it since your YouTubers won't do it. And my schedule been a little janky for the last week here, so I'm trying to get it together for you, but we're going to get into it here before we get to the 3-hour mark. I'm calling my cats, all my dudes, hell, some of you females who live in New York, LA, Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, DC, but particularly that triangle, New York, LA, Miami. I'll go ahead and throw Atlanta in there too. Do y'all know how many washed up, set out to pasture former stars and divas and former celebrities there are out there today? What? You see, years ago when I cracked the code and showed y'all about Stacey Dash, man, do you know how many former celebrities, former thoughts, former hot girls there are out there today in they damn 40s and 50s and 60s? Have you looked at the chicks who used to be on Baywatch? David Hasselhoff, one of his ex-wives, just died of a drug overdose in her 60s.
Nigga.
Auntie, chill. She was in her 60s and died of a damn drug overdose. Something she's supposed to stop doing when she was a young gal and still doing it. What does that tell you? Take a look at the list of females who were on Baywatch. They had so many of them. How many of them today? They talking about Dawn Robinson. How many of them chicks were on Baywatch? We keep looking up on the news and they homeless, on drugs. 2 of them living homeless out there in Los Angeles. One of them living in the damn sewer. You talking about Dawn Robinson living in her car. One of them white gals from Baywatch is living in a damn sewer. Now I want you to check into that. One of them broads is living in a sewer. Don't believe me. Go Google it. I'm not even going to bring it to you tonight. Go Google it. Yeah, there's a bunch of y'all who heard about that. Yeah, there's a bunch of you folks in here who heard about her. Living in a sewer. Yes. Don't believe me. Go look it up. And by the way, she ain't the only one. Y'all talk about these chicks with their drug habits and whatnot, man. You talking about these chicks looking for a place to stay, man. All they could really do was be cute and wiggle their little bony rumps on Baywatch. Okay, when that went south, now what? There's nobody there to step in and make her a trophy wife or nothing. Folks saying Lonnie Wilson. I don't remember the gal's name. Was it Lonnie Wilson? Folks putting Lonnie Wilson in the chat room. If that's Lonnie, you can go look her up. Don't believe me. And what I'm telling you is while everybody talking about Dawn Robinson, man, quiet is kept. If you go over the list of females who were on television back in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, man, it's a damn laundry list of chicks who used to be hot, used to be good, used to be flaming, used to be sizzling. Man, ain't nothing left. Ain't nothing left. We just talking about Baywatch. Do you want to talk about the CW? What? Oh, y'all don't want to go there? You want to talk about your video vixens? Do you all realize how many video vixens we had from the late 80s to the mid 2000s? back when they used to spend $250,000 for a music video, do you realize just how many, quote, video vixens we had back then? How about the old Soul Train dancers? Them broads at least had more dignity about them. They had a little bit more dignity about them. At least. At least. For those of you who live in major cities, some of y'all might have run into them chicks. Some of y'all might have run into them. Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom. All right, we got Cadario here on Zoom. What's on your mind, brother? Nigga, why you looking like the 5 heartbeats?
Hey, my bad, man.
Nigga, you done took them waves to a whole nother level.
I'm trying to get my it's echoing.
The waves to a whole nother level. You got your YouTube on.
I'm trying to get my is it echoing right here?
You got your YouTube on, dude.
Okay, let me turn it on.
Oh boy, this newfangled technology. Now the young niggas is getting now they're getting confused by it.
All right. Hey, real quick, JB, is the Zoom showing up on YouTube or is it just
nobody's seeing you.
All right, nobody's seeing. Okay, man, it's been a minute. I'm about a couple weeks late for check-in with you, and I know it's not germane to the topic tonight, but I wanted to update you. You asked me to call you back in about 6 months after I finished the MBA.
How'd that work out?
Exactly how you said, bro. But I did want to give you some updates based on the programs that you've had up, even since that program. And it's specifically one, because I told you about how I was engaged and, with the breakup and everything like that, going through all that. And you had a caller, I don't even think she actually called back. She was like 22 years old and she was trying to date, quote unquote, a doctor, but the dude was in medical school. And she didn't know shit about the dude. Do you remember that call?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if did she ever call back? Cause you told her to call you back in a week.
Yeah, I mean
I don't think she called back.
Yeah, I'm not sure she called me back, to be totally honest. I'm not sure she did.
Yeah.
She might check in on Patreon, but we'll see.
Okay. So long story short, maybe it was a conversation you had with Prince and you were talking about it, how if somebody had an opportunity to go sit in a class and they're trying to get, hey, I need to get the books, I need to do all this stuff. And it's like, no, we give you the opportunity to get into class. That's the type of information that we have here for, especially for Patreon, but at the business for females to call up, but for whatever reason they don't. But I always try to take every opportunity to talk to you, my man, because you've been giving me up the last 7 years. And so, but what came from it, man, is when we had a conversation too, I was asking you about how to make like $500,000 a year. You said you're not going to be able to do that from a job. And so I'm like, what the hell am I going to do outside of my job to get to that point? And you told me, number one, I get a CPA, I need to get a banker, and I get an attorney. So I got a CPA and I got an attorney, but I needed a banker. And so when it came to the banker, I went and talked to, and this is a question I have after what I'm going to tell you. I still need a banker, but since the last time we talked, I finished that MBA. I got accepted to Harvard for their executive education training this summer for a week on campus, just so I can rub shoulders with and be in that environment. That was literally from you. I would have never even thought to apply to that program if it weren't for you, because of the information that you provide. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, there's something about why he always uses this as an example. But also outside of that, man, when you were talking about the business stuff or stuff outside of the job, I just wanted to let you know I just I didn't close yet, but I've already put my earnest money on a duplex, my first investment property in Houston. And your credit workshop, my score went from like 594 to like 812 in the last 4 years. And obviously, you know about the income increase. I think I talked to you about that about a year ago. But man, it's been a game changer since. I mean, this didn't come from the NBA, but it's really just listening to your program and the training you've given us, an opportunity to communicate with you. That's more so what's been leveled me up than the NBA.
I mean, look, right now you're not married, you don't have any kids, you are still very much flying high, you don't have a bunch of liabilities, you're very disciplined, you're willing to sacrifice, so you're not really willing to sit up here and throw a bunch of money around and waste it, which means you know the value of it. You're still willing to put your money together, to put it to work for you. You're still competitive, you got that drive about it, you're not really trying to sit up here and sit down. All of that serves you in this environment. So right now, really, you're really in a situation where you can just plow all the money you want to into investing in yourself. So certainly, if you have a job, that's great. The real thing is, don't count your income from your job. Count yourself as, a whole company. So the real thing is, what do you make across all your revenue streams? What do you make as a whole? Because when you go to the IRS, that's the way they count it. They don't count it as, well, we just count your job and everything else to the side. It's, no. It's like, nigga, if you got the money from part-time selling snow cones, look, we need to see that. We need to see that too. So those are the rules. So if you want to make that kind of money, it's just like, okay, you're going to have to expand yourself. If that's the maximum the job market will give you, that doesn't mean that's the maximum you can produce. That's just the maximum that job will give you. Okay, now we're going to have to create another vertical for it, and you're primed in position to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I'm just saying, like, it was, I think I talked, this was before the job. I've been doing this for about a year and a half, doing sales for 12 years. We talked about the Frank Betcher book, all that stuff you gamed us up about. And I think when we first started talking, I told you the income, where I was at and where I'm at now. And it's a really sought after skill, doing these heart valves. And so, I've got the number one valve company in the world now reaching out to me for a role or whatever. So you already knew about the aorta, you know what I'm saying? And so it was just literally, bro, like I can't say thank you enough because of everything. And I think I reached out on a Patreon membership, and I was going to ask you your thoughts on something, an idea I had. Because I think the main thing is, like, you've heard of house hacking, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at doing. And so I just paid a contractor to finish my old office, to fill in, put drywall in.
Okay.
To make it a fifth bedroom. So I was
is there any way you can give me a call on Patreon about that? Because that's going to be a much longer conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that, man.
Especially to get the details of that. That's going to be it's an important one, but that's going to be a much longer conversation.
Yeah, I can do that because there's more numbers too.
Yes, it's more numbers, but logistics, especially because of where you're doing it.
Yep.
So, because long story short, Texas is a kind of unique animal where that's concerned, because you have more considerations than you do in other places. Mm-hmm. You don't have licensing, for example. So there's let me not get into details. There's a lot of moving parts in Texas. Yeah. There's advantages tax-wise, but Texas has moving parts.
Yeah. So, I'm in Nashville. So, like, the house I have here is a, now converted to a 5-bedroom, but in Texas, it's just a brand new construction duplex. So that's going to be completely like short-term rental or whatever. But it was more so about, like, this is a, now 5-bedroom house, renting out those rooms. But I can talk to you.
Hit me up on Patreon. Let's chop it up.
Yeah. We'll chop it up, bro. But yeah, sorry to get off topic, man, but I had to give you the update. So appreciate you, bro.
Well, no, sorry. It's good. Like I said, I want to talk about it, but that's going to be way off in the woods, and there's going to be a lot more to it, because there's a lot of considerations if you're going to build anything in Texas. If you're going to build anything, or even if you're purchasing something, now you have to deal with it. Texas has a lot that a real estate owner has to consider. So, but we can go ahead and chop it up with that. And in the chat room, I heard some folks talking about Lark Voorhees. And I'm just like, yeah, Lark is one of them. And I don't wish any bad on anybody. I don't want anybody bad down. I mean, well, there are some really vile people that I'm like, you need to be down. I'm not so sure that Lark is one of those people. So I'm not trying to look at nobody and just be like, oh, you need to be down in the game. And, you need to be messed up, unless I get some proof that you were just really a reprehensible individual. That's different. But yeah, Lark Voorhees. You know, she's one of those. What was her name? Lisa Nicole Carson. Remember Lisa Nicole Carson from Ally McBeal? Yeah, all these chicks done turned over 50. They're on their way to 60. Oh, you ain't gonna like it when I say that? Lark is 50 now. Lisa Nicole is 55. Lisa Nicole is 55. I'm just saying, we just naming some of them names. Everybody talking about the mental health issues. I mean, according to them, everybody got mental health issues. That's the only thing they hire in Hollywood. You can't get a job in Hollywood if you ain't already got mental health issues. Bipolar, personality disorder, depression, schizophrenia. You can't get hired in Hollywood without that. So you got to be that. There's a whole bunch of chicks out there. They used to be hot. They used to be running in the game. Vivica Fox, I mean, to be totally honest with you, I want to say she's an exception, but in reality, I can't. I want to say that Vivica is an exception, but in reality, I can't, because Vivica is still looking for a man to patch up them holes to this day. Lisa Ray is still looking for a man to patch up them holes to this day. Claudia Jordan and them still looking for a man to patch up them holes to this day. Yes, I was right about DDG. I called it from the beginning. I said he was going to do a 180 and he was going to drop the polite tones. Well, it didn't take long for that train to show up. So, yeah. Did I call it or did I call it? Ain't nothing new under the sun. Ambrosia, why would you do that? Why? Just why? Why? I don't understand. I really don't understand why they try that. I really don't understand that. I just don't get it. Engaged. What the hell is engaged? What the hell is engaged? Please tell me, what is the value of being engaged? Tell me what that is. What is the value of that? By the way, is she still engaged now? That's the other thing. Is she still engaged now? Because if she's not, oh well. By the way, is he the Prince of Turks and Caicos? Damn! Oh yeah, one more thing. Is he the Prince of Turks and Caicos? Asking for a friend. Is he the Prince of Turks and Caicos? By the way, what year was that, baby? I just looked that up. Is that 2018? Last time I see she got engaged was 2018. Do you got something post-pandemic? Does she have something post-pandemic? Okay, y'all, you might update your files, baby. Update your files. I saw something else about somebody named LaTruth. Okay, I'm like, all right, I'll let that speak for its damn self. Whoever LaTruth is, I'll let that speak for itself. I'll let that speak for itself right there. Yeah, that's what she can, 57 years old, that's what you can get. You can get him. You can get the Lisa Ray. What Lisa Ray needs to do is she needs to go get married to the deacon down at the church. What? She needs to go look for the fellow who retired from the water plant. Lisa Ray needs to go get the dude who retired from the water plant. She needs to go see if she can get an old retired government employee somebody who loved her in Players Club, and he's willing to just throw that pension with reckless abandon. She needs to go get with that dude. That dude will bend over backwards or forwards for her. Ain't no nigga trying to figure out how to buy 57-year-old Lisa Ray a Rolls Royce with the custom orange interior and the Starlight headliner. Ain't no nigga trying to figure out how to do that for 57-year-old Lisa Ray. There's no one trying to do that, baby. They were trying to do that for 27-year-old, 37-year-old. Ain't nobody trying to do that for 57-year-old. Some nigga who's trying to get some record executive to listen to his demo tape, he'll holler at you. Some old dude, Willie James or Willie Earl, will do that. He'll do it. Willie James will break out that pension for you. Willie James will do that. He'll turn on some Al Green. He'll turn on some Lattimore. You're what he's looking for. He'll do that. Willie James will do that. You looking for a nigga that's style and profile and makes an impression, is out here getting it, and that's not for you, baby. That was 20 damn. Do y'all realize how damn long ago Turks and Caicos was? People, I know time flies, but I need y'all to please hit the brake pedal for a minute. Do you realize how long ago that Turks and Caicos was for Lisa Ray? Do you understand that? Turks and Caicos was a while ago. That's not recent history. Okay, ain't nothing popped off since then. There hasn't been another Prince. There hasn't been another A-list celebrity. That's it. She been talking about grandbabies. And that's cool and all. But why do we need to hear... Folks, why do we need to hear that Lisa Ray is engaged to somebody you never heard of? Why do you need to hear that she's engaged to some run-of-the-mill dude? Why don't she go get some fellow who works for the cable company? He been working for the cable company for the last 30 years, and he's willing to finance one of them D.R. Horton homes. Why don't she go just get with him and call it a damn life? No, you can't brag on him. If you show his ass, people will laugh you out the damn room. They don't know who he is. They recognize you got in where you fit in. 57-year-old Lisa Ray needs to go find a 70-year-old nigga to kick it with.
And deal with it, nigga.
And that's reality. 57-year-old Lisa Ray needs to go find a 70 or 75-year-old dude who has been patiently waiting his turn to grip them wrinkled butt cheeks, so he was fantasizing about since the Players Club, so she can go ahead and have a soft place to land and just accept the damn reality that that's where your life ended up at, and it is what it is. Don't nobody want to talk about that. When Cory Holcomb said that Kendra G, baby, you don't qualify for a nigga in his prime. You qualify for an old dude who done aged out and he's willing to take you. Now, he's not going to do anything extra for you because the fella retired from the cable company is not trying to figure out how he can be the Prince of Turks and Caicos. He ain't trying to do it. Well, you just gonna have to accept that that ain't you. The fellas who do that don't do it for women like you. You fumbled the damn ball for the fellas who would do it. The ones who would do it, you fumbled the damn ball. Get your ass over here. Bring out your Morgan Freeman lookalike so we can laugh our asses off. But baby, that's a wrap. 57-year-old Lisa Ray, 60-something-year-old Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox needs to quit pretending with that damn me cartoonish ass BBL, suspected BBL she done got. Baby, hang it up. That's a wrap. The niggas who are willing to do anything for you, They need heart medication before they grab that damn thing. What? And they ain't trying to wrestle with no damn beach balls up under your ass. They're not trying to do that. You ain't never met a 75-year-old man trying to wrestle with no female's ass. He ain't trying to do that. That's a young man's game. Young men will wrestle with a female's rump. Young men will do that. Young men will do the Michael Jordan grip the basketball. Young men, 75-year-old men ain't trying to do none of that. He's not trying to wrestle with your rear end. He's not trying to dig his way out from up under your triple D cups. He ain't trying to do none of that. Remember, he just woke up from his nap. Damn! He ain't trying to do none of that. He is not attempting to wrestle with your damn plastic surgery. He don't want to oversize nothing. Y'all done forgot about all that. This nigga ain't got to this point in his damn life. That's a young man's game. Young men deal with thunder thighs and size 16 rear ends on a size 10 waist and triple D. That's a young man's game. A young man don't do that. 75-year-old men ain't trying to wrestle with that. He's like, oh, hell no. She waits until she gets in her damn 60s. Please tell me the 60-year-old man who said that he's talking to a 60-year-old woman, you know, I wish she had a bigger ass. You have never in your life heard a man in his 60s say that the female in his life in her 60s, boy, I wish she had more ass on her. She already got an ass built like a love seat. He's not wishing for more. He wants a simpler life. He's trying to downsize. He is not looking for extra complications. No, he's not. That's a figment. She thinks she gonna go sell that to a younger man. You're a 60-something-year-old female, Vivica, who is imagining that there is a 30-year-old 50 Cent out there who is gonna bypass the 25-year-old chick he could have and leapfrog all of them to come to you. That's what Vivica is delusionally fantasizing to herself. That she's competing with the 25-year-olds. And that if she can get a rear end like theirs, that she's going to be competing for the same men they got. Let me go get this inflated beach booty so that I can compete with the young men you young females got access to. And the killing part is the 60-year-old men ain't trying to do nothing with her. The 40-year-old men weren't trying to do nothing with 40-year-old Vivica. The 50-year-old men weren't trying to do nothing with 50-year-old Vivica. And the 60-year-old men ain't trying to do nothing with 60-year-old Vivica. Vivica, you need to bump that age up, baby. Even the cats in their 60s who can do the stuff you talking about, they looking for a chick half their age. You gonna have to move that thing up. See if you can find the old 70-something retiree. He sings hymns. He goes to the park. He helps little old ladies, or at least he don't. He listens to old blues albums. He watches reruns of the Cosby Show. That's where you gonna be. Make sure he got his little retirement paid up. Make sure that's all right. Y'all can go for a trip to Disney World. You can go on the Tom Joyner cruise. You can trade stories about your Metamucil. Damn! You can trade stories about your Preparation H.
And deal with it, nigga.
That's what y'all can do. You can trade stories about your Preparation H, your athletic wraps, your compression socks. You can trade stories about that. That's what you can do. Find you a 75-year-old who ain't really looking to get nothing popping like that, but he ain't looking to trade you in, and just accept that that's it. Stop trying to go on the red carpet. Stop trying to get pictures taken. Stop trying to be seen. This stuff is getting stupid now. And that goes for all the other females listening to me right now. Go get you a fella who is in your league, baby. If you are 40 years old, dragging around 3 kids, you need a 50-something-year-old simp who ain't got no options. If you're 50 years old, quit lying to your ass. There's some old dude who you can reliably find at Red Lobster on Sundays. He is waiting to throw that pension check. And unlike the men you really want to be with, you won't have to compete for it. The men you really want to be with, you'd have to compete, but you can't win. You need somebody that you can actually get it from. So that's who it needs to be. And you know what? Now, this is the part right here. Now, y'all are going to say I'm mean and nasty. This is the part that Cory didn't say, but it's not mean and nasty. It's the truth. You're going to get there with his old, uncompetitive ass. He's going to wake up in the morning and get ready for his noon nap. You gonna sit there and tell yourself that he used to be an alpha? Well, he's your baby. You stuck with him. You're gonna be thinking about the stuff you could have done if you had an actual competitive male, but you don't qualify no more. You're gonna be looking at young pictures of him and fantasizing that's what it is. You're gonna be hoping that he don't throw his hip out if y'all want to have sex. You're going to be sitting up here telling yourself, well, when folks keep asking, is that your daddy? That's a term of endearment. You're going to be saying all kinds of things and trying to be cool with it. And as time goes on and the laughter either gets louder or subsides, and you finally give up on your ridiculous fantasy that this guy is ever going to become a go-getter or an achiever at an elite level, and you're just going to have to accept it. By the way, this is where you deserve to be. You used to be hot, and now you get with a guy who could have been a contender. He could have been special, but you don't qualify for that. So you have to catch him on his down slope. He got you on your decline. You get him on your decline. And you just both look awkward and old together. When they talk about that old couple at the mall with their walkers and whatnot, that really is kind of raggedy when you think about it. That's your social circle. Stop pretending that you ever gonna redeem it. You fumbled the ball with those men. You fumbled the ball with them. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Get your bingo cards. He's watching reruns on the Hallmark Channel with you. He only buys old cars. He don't want nothing with an updated infotainment system. The nigga can't work it no way. Ain't got a new nothing. He's just trying to figure out how to coast and cruise. Every day you sitting with him, he's telling you, you got to get slower. You thought you finally, okay, we got stability, so now I can sail as fast as I want. This nigga keep coming to, hey, slow your ass down. Slow your ass down. I ain't doing all that. And you'll just have to accept that princess fantasy you had, that you would finally be able to show up with a man who was a go-getter, and a man who was a producer, and a man who was rubbing elbows and making things shake with movers and shakers and legends. Eventually, you'll just have to accept it, and that ain't never gonna be you. And you know what? Eventually, the stench, you'll get used to it. Oh, I'm hurting some feelings tonight. My numbers dropped when I talked about this. There's a bunch of old bros. They didn't like that. Probably a bunch of old dudes didn't like hearing about that either. But by the way, that baby, when you're no longer prime real estate, you're not competitive. Uncompetitive female only gets an uncompetitive male, and that's natural selection. The strong should be with the strong, and the weak shouldn't be there at all. Oh, you thought I was about to say the weak should be weak. No, the strong should be with the strong, and the weak shouldn't even be there. If you no longer qualify, that's it. If you no longer qualify, you just need to accept, hey, baby, you're 45 years old. Go find you a 60-year-old who is looking to make things more comfortable. Y'all can go check out that Buick Avenir. What? Y'all can go ahead and do that. He'll be down for it. Stop telling yourself that Bentley is ever showing up. Stop telling yourself that G-Wagon ever coming through. I wish you would tell him he needs to do that. Stop dreaming about that. You just settle in. And let the chicks who actually got something they can brag about, let them go ahead and do that without your awkward weirdo ass sitting up here fogging up the real estate. Give it up. Yeah, it's an excellent look. Hell yeah, it's a showstopper. When you can show up in front of Lenox Mall with a Bentley Continental or a Batour or a Flying Spur. I'm talking about the new one, not the old one. When you can show up with one of those, you damn right, it's a showstopper. When you can show up in front of the Kempton Epic, the Waldorf Astoria, the Wilshire Grand in a Cullinan, it's a damn showstopper. You damn right it is. When you can show up on Park Avenue with one, you damn right it is. Oh yes, it feel like it looks. It sure does. Absolutely. And that's why you willing to move heaven and earth to get it. Now, I don't blame you for wanting it, but as Bill Duke said, most people gonna die with their Hollywood dreams unfulfilled. So settle in for the fella who's this is the best you can get, and just accept, you know what? He ain't got to work hard for you. Stop. You ain't got to worry about working hard for him, and the both of y'all will be all right. He's an average dude. You're an average chick. Y'all will make it work. I didn't say you'll like it. I didn't say that. I said you'd get used to the stench. But I didn't say you'd like it. I just said you'd get used to the stench. You'd get used to the stench of failure. I said that part. You get used to the stench of underachieving. You'll get used to it. I didn't say you'll like it, but eventually, you'll learn to tolerate it. That's what happens when you screw off your 20s and your 30s. You bet on the wrong horse. Eventually, you just get stuck out there on the track. So to the ladies who dreamt that you would have an ultra competitive male who would finally fulfill your fantasy of all those things you ain't never gonna do for yourself, I just want you to know, that ain't gonna happen, but there is the possibility of a soft place to land. Now, he'll be old enough to be your dad, and he's gonna be like you, the worse for wear and not in great physical shape, but he'll take you. He'll take you. And don't let that giggling that you hear when you walk by, don't let that bother you too much. Don't let that one bother you too much. Just saying. Hey, ladies, you better not let the grass grow under your feet. You waiting on that fella in your age range? You better go ahead and grab one of these 50, 60-year-old niggas while he's still on the market. Remember, the competition coming up behind you is fierce. You gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Next thing you know, you're gonna be 40 fighting for them 60-year-olds.
And deal with it, nigga.
Oh, man. Okay, hey, baby, if you don't get in where you fit in his late 50s, next stop, 60. If you're 45 years old, hey, baby, you better take that 60-year-old. Next stop, 65. Next stop, 65. Hey, you better stop looking down on them train conductors in New York. What? I got a couple of my dudes, they work up there. Hey, baby, he's stable. He can't buy no Bentley. Baby, look here, you better catch the A train. You better let that Bentley delusion go. Catch this A train. That pension waiting for you. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Boy, I done upset a whole bunch of damn people tonight. I know I have. I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who's contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out here to D. Cunningham and Young Investor.
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time.
Thank you very much for your support, D. Cunningham and Young Investor there. We appreciate that. Shout out here to Terrell Evans, Stephen Coachman, A.O., Erwin Davis. Thank you very much for your support here as well. Got some new channel members, Fred Hayes, G Love. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you have not been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every weekend. Looking forward here and going ahead and chopping it up about the real estate market in Texas and some other places too, because I got a few things I want to talk about there in that regard. I do not discuss high value men. I build high value men. As you all have seen all this time, this is not a mass market product. This is for the elite. This is for a select few. I'm only interested in people who are going to put it in action. If you're here to be entertained, carry your ass. If you're here to be enlightened, this is the place for you. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon Central Time. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program, live or recorded. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.